Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to I'm on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron. This is episode 103, and today we have a great show for you. Guest today is going to be King of the Deathmatch, Eric Ryan. King of the Deathmatch, Eric Ryan will be in the house, and now I'm being interrupted. Okay. Yep.
Party interruption. Aaron Bauer is in the building.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. We watched that movie at work today.
Did you?
I introduced a lot of people to Billy Madison that maybe had never seen that movie before. And then I proceeded to tell them, that's my friend on the screen right there, Jack.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jack, New Jack passed away.
He did. I was sitting in Indiana this weekend at the Squared Circle Expo signing autographs. A lot of great superstars at this event from both WWE and AEW. Of course, some from the Indies as well. And I was sitting at my table when I just happened to be scrolling, and it had been posted maybe about 5 minutes earlier, that New Jack, 58 years old, heart attack, passed away. And I think I was the first one to tell you. Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Because I knew I immediately had to send it to you because I know you guys had that friendship. So what was your initial reaction and how are you feeling today?
Well, I guess I'm not surprised. That was one of those guys that you thought sooner or later, and he was okay with saying that.
Sure.
You know, he might die off a balcony dive. Or he might die because he overdosed on drugs. Or it might be something that happened to him along the way. Or it might be something random because, you know, he'd been shot at and stabbed and had gonorrhea on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Those were his words to
Fair.
me. He said, you know, if I'm going to go, here's all these things that could get me.
Yeah.
So, he was okay with it, though. New Jack lived a life.
He sure did.
Man, superstar wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say world famous.
I think so.
Yeah. You know,
Infamous.
ECW. Yeah. Yes, definitely world infamous.
Can't argue that one.
Widely regarded as one of the best promos in the business ever.
Yep.
Would you put him in the top 20?
Probably. I mean, he was believable as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the... Listen, New Jack is scary because there was a very real element to New Jack's character. And it was hard to decipher reality and fiction with him.
Right.
And that's what made him so intimidating. But that's also what made him so good. It's like you believed it. when the camera turned off, that was still kind of how New Jack acted. You didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So,
we talk about Jeff Traxler here and there on this podcast.
the promoter from Mega.
That's right. And not only that, but he's been a DJ for AIW and maybe other promotions and that, and also a worker and stuff or whatever.
Are you a DJ if you only play Power Man 5000? Does that make you a DJ? Traxler, I know you listen. I love you. I just wanted to make that joke.
But Jeff Traxler, maybe it's worth the follow on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just to see the story that he posted.
Dude,
on
I
New
saw
Jack.
that. That was like one of my favorite stories. That he
And
posted.
it's funny because like I hadn't even remembered that until once I started reading, and then we were in Buffalo Wild Wings and New Jack and the waitress and that. I started to pop, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait." Traxler was taking me on a good ride, like a good match does.
Yeah.
You just feel it. And he told that story perfectly, and it was true. Like New Jack caused a little stir, and they got up and.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna read it.
Okay, do that.
And if you wanna friend Jeff Traxler, you can find him on Facebook. That's TRAXLER, longtime promoter for Mega, good guy, always treated me right. Most people kind of snickered when we, that being him and Brandon X, said New Jack seminar. We knew his psychology and that he could work. And he had said, that being New Jack, I ain't been doing this hardcore shit my whole life. Anyway, after the seminar, Jack says, I'm hungry. Where's around here to eat? I start naming places. I say BW3. Jack says, yes, that's where we're going. So, into the Illyria B-dubs walk the motley crew of Jack, Van Hughes, Chandler Biggins, John Thorne, Aaron Simmons, Brandon X, one or two people I'm blanking on, and me. The waitress comes over and asks about drinks, which is the normal soda, lemonade, etc., until she gets to Jack. Jack says, could I have a Heineken and a Long Island iced tea with a shot of peach schnapps? The waitress says, okay, sir, could I see your ID? Jack exhales and twists his face all up. My ID! My ID! Jack slams both hands down on the table and stands up. My ID! Everyone is quite concerned at this point, including the waitress. I am 42 years old. Shit, I'm thinking. These, Jack spreads his arms out and looks at us, are all my white children. What? What now? All of us are like, what the fuck, as Jack immediately switches gears, pulls his ID out, and says, sweetly, here you go, sweetie. I think the waitress went in the back and cried, but I bet she wiped her tears with the huge tip he left. R.I.P. Jack. It was cool as hell to be one of your white children. It's a great story.
Yes. And I was there to experience it.
I got to imagine it was surreal.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And I believe Jack left her like a $30 tip.
That's awesome.
And all he got was teriyaki wings and that beer and mixed drink that he liked to drink together.
Nice.
And then after that, we hit up the strip club.
I'm sure you did.
Woo! We
did drop that bonus episode from Patreon that we did, I think, back in April of 2020. I dropped that over the weekend because, Jack did scare me. I did a lot of shows with him, but he was, never mean to me. But again, he had that intimidating presence. The last time I saw him was in Texas, and I don't know. Shit like this just bothers me. And I want to say I don't know why, but obviously death is a weird thing to wrap your mind around, right? And I did not get much sleep this weekend. I did 2 autograph signings, and then I impromptu got on a show in Muncie, Indiana. And then I got home at 3 a.m., and I had to be back up at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
But I could not go to bed without downloading that New Jack episode and doing an intro, which
Yeah.
I did about a special 10-minute intro for that. And I put it up on the iTunes feed and wherever else you download podcasts. So if you haven't listened to it, go back and check it out. And I had to get it out there because I feel, Paul Heyman, like we alluded to before we started recording, you weren't sure if you wanted to say anything. Paul Heyman did a great tribute to New Jack.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know if we can live up to the type of eulogy, if you will, that Paul Heyman did, but New Jack's footage, as Paul had mentioned, is probably not going to get played in video packages on TV.
Right.
And I think, I don't know, just playing our episode with our memories of New Jack was the best way that we could honor the man's legacy. He was hardcore before a lot of these motherfuckers were hardcore.
Yes.
But also, some of his shit in Smoky Mountain is some of the best stuff you'll ever see.
I'm telling you, the best promo I ever saw was New Jack and Mustafa at ECW Arena. I think the previous month, Mustafa did not make his flight or something, so Jack was in the ring by himself. The Eliminators attacked him, beat him up real bad. So now this month, they're back at the arena, and Jack and Mustafa come out together, and Jack just cuts the craziest promo I ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it was so good. And after that, I was like, oh, this is my guy.
He was
Right here.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I've said it many times, I love USWA stuff. I love Smoky Mountain stuff because there's just something, I don't know, it has a mixture of everything for people, I think. And New Jack, if you know his ECW stuff, you might think to yourself, well, how does he fit in Smoky Mountain? He fit in Smoky Mountain perfect because he was the perfect opposite of everything happening. Like he was this kind of podunk hillbilly promotion, great workers, but I mean it's based in fucking Tennessee and Kentucky and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's sad that it's still the case in 2021. So it was especially the case still in 1995. Not the most open people when it comes to different races,
But I have to put this out there. I know you don't see eye to eye with Jim Cornette, but Cornette was the one who came up with that shit. So people who say he's like behind the times, he was ahead of the times there.
Listen, I think Cornette is a fucking moron that does shit just to piss people off.
Yeah.
But also, I do think he has convictions and beliefs in some of the shit being dumb that happens in modern wrestling. Whatever, he's entitled to it, but it's the way he goes about it.
Yeah.
That makes him a fucking dumb ass bastard. But what pisses me off most about Cornette is like he does have good ideas and he does have good insight on certain things. And if he just approached things in a different manner, perhaps maybe people would respect his opinion a little more. But you're right, he did help put this together with the gangsters in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And Jack did some of his best work there. And also, listen, Cornette, you're probably not going to hear this, but if someone could tweet this at Cornette or something, could you please dig out the fucking match between The Undertaker and New Jack in that 6-man tag? You have to have it. I refuse to believe that didn't get recorded.
Right.
Where is it? The world needs to see New Jack versus The Undertaker.
Oh, man, I can't even imagine.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Literally, when we were at Bar Wrestling in L.A., we were talking to D'Lo Brown, me and Ricky Shane Page. That was one of the first things we asked him about, was what it was like working with The Undertaker and having New Jack on his team and just witnessing that. He told us the whole story about it, and it was pretty awesome. And just, I don't know. Listen, New Jack is controversial. Did he do some fucked up shit? Certainly.
I know, and that was so bad, that stuff was real bad. Any of the stuff that was controversial, I guess. But then, here I was hanging out with the dude one weekend. I had never met him before, and we go downtown Cleveland to Alice Cooper's restaurant. And on the way in, there's like a homeless person that approaches us. And Jack tells him no, he's not giving him any money. We walk into this establishment. We sit down. Jack gets his teriyaki wings. and also then orders an entire meal for this guy that's outside, sitting in the alley. He orders like a double cheeseburger, fries, a 6-wing, whatever, a bunch of 6 wings, and then a soda pop. Sends it out to the guy that's sitting in the alley, asking for money and food.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I couldn't believe that's who I was like sitting there with. I was like, I thought this guy was trying to just kill people all the time.
Yeah.
But man, this is a really cool thing. And Jack was cool, man. And I got to see a side of him that a lot of people didn't get to see.
New Jack will be missed, and like I said, he was a controversial guy, but there were a lot of wrestlers that I highly respect that had some pretty emotional tributes to Jack, including Chris Hamrick and Tommy Dreamer, who we've had on the show, and just Blue Meanie. Just so many guys that were saying such wonderful things about Jack, and how I think Meanie in particular was like, I never saw him start shit.
Yeah.
For some reason, other people always started shit with him, and he finished it.
Yeah.
And listen, I got a lot of respect for a guy that when someone wants to start shit, you're the guy that ends it. Like, fuck it, So, New Jack, rest in peace. That's it for the intro of the show, because we talk for a good 90 minutes with Eric Ryan, and we delve into, obviously, the big event of the weekend, the burning of a man's penis. And boy, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of pictures that we're posting on social media. Not of a penis, but of some burns, maybe a video, the actual incident. There's some photos of some gruesome injuries that Eric has gone through. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Eric Ryan finding himself as a performer, psychology, the toxicity of social media. And some of this actually is going to be on Patreon, because once we wrapped up the podcast, 90 minutes in, we just kept going, because I don't get to see Eric enough. I see him now more because of 440 stuff, but you haven't seen Eric in at least a couple years.
Yeah.
And you traveled the roads with him. You guys talked about some road stories that you guys had together, and we ended up talking for, I think, an extra 30 or 40 minutes. So if you want to hear the extended discussion with Eric Ryan, you're going to go to patreon.com/ironandwrestling, where you get a buttload of bonus content starting at $3, plus a follow back on social media from Aaron and myself. $5 gets you involved in not only all the bonus episodes, but the bonus videos as well, which will be short videos, but also full-length events. And, of course, most importantly, in the $5 tier, the Zoom call, which we do once a month, which I believe we will be doing the last weekend of May at some point. Depends on my schedule, but I think somewhere in the 28th through the 30th is going to be the next Zoom call. So if you want to talk to Aaron and I for at least an hour, which we do every month, you're going to go to patreon.com/ironandwrestling at the $5 tier. At the $9 tier, it's the favorite tier. You get to do all of that, but also you get to pick a bonus subject every single month that we cover on the podcast. Sometimes your bonus subject bleeds into the actual podcast. It's good stuff. You'll love it. Patreon.com/ironandwrestling. There's higher tiers in which you can be in studio with us. You can talk with us on the podcast via Zoom. You can receive something in the mail every other month, which the next shipment comes out in June. So try it out, patreon.com/ironandwrestling. And also, hey, subscribe on iTunes or wherever you download podcasts if you haven't already. Give us 5 stars. Give us a review. It creates visibility from the podcast. And hey, if you start giving us 5 stars and review and you screen cap and you send it to us, anybody who does that in the next few weeks, I'm going to be putting them into a situation where they could win a free signed 8x10. Wow. Pretty impressive, right? That's pretty cool. You want a free 8x10? That's like a $10 value plus shipping. You get one for free if you get picked after you leave a review in 5 stars. Is that a good deal, Aaron?
I like it.
I think it's a great deal. Patreon.com/ironandwrestling. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube. Without further ado, we're going to go to some ads from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll have a discussion with King of the Deathmatch, Eric Ryan.
I can't wait to talk to him about the highs of winning and the agony of defeat.
Okay. Only people on Patreon are going to get that. So go to Patreon and listen to the extended version. If you're in the pro wrestling or entertainment industry, you probably realize how important it is to have merchandise. Not only does it help you when it comes to bringing in additional revenue for yourself, but the look and feel of merch is a representation of the brand you're building. So you definitely don't want it to suck. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, where can I find a reliable and reputable artist that'll make me a solid t-shirt or pin design that'll make me look and feel like a superstar? Well, I've got the answer for you. Of the Dead Designs. Of the Dead Designs is a one-man merch company ran by artist Juan Ortiz. Now his name may not be familiar to you, but his artwork should be, because you've likely seen his designs on TV and Hot Topic, and he's created some of the highest-selling shirt designs in pro wrestling tees history. Of the Dead Designs has created artwork for the biggest names in WWE, AEW, ROH, Impact, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and beyond. I'm talking guys like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, CM Punk, The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Road Warrior, Animal, The Lucha Brothers, Jungle Boy, even yours truly. Now you're probably saying, whoa, I'm not in the league of The Young Bucks or Hulk Hogan, brother. There's no way I can afford artwork from Of the Dead Designs. Well, I'm here to tell you you're wrong, because Of the Dead Designs is affordable. Juan isn't just looking to create art for the superstars of today, he wants to make it for the superstars of tomorrow as well. And look, Of the Dead Designs doesn't just do artwork for wrestlers. He'll create merch for your band, your podcast, your dance troupe, your kids' pee-wee football team, your daughter's school bake sale. Heck, got a girl that you're afraid to talk to, but you stalk on Instagram and like all of her photos at around 2 or 3 a.m. and you've been hoping that she get the hint like, hey, I really like you, but she has yet to slide in your DMs, and now you think, well, I got to take it to the next level, so you get Of the Dead Designs to use a photo of her ex-boyfriend as a reference to create artwork, but you replace the ex's face with your face and then present this custom artwork to the chick with hopes that she'll kiss you directly on the lips. Of the Dead Designs will do that for you. With over 14 years of experience and a portfolio of clients that speaks for itself, Of the Dead Designs will make your artwork at a reasonable price. And hey, if you mention this ad, you'll save $10 on your first design. Of the Dead Designs still has spots open for 2020, so you gotta act fast. If you're interested in a design, contact Of the Dead Designs right now on Instagram at ofthedead209, on Facebook at facebook.com/ofthedeaddesigns, or at his website, ofthedead.weebly.com. Of the Dead Designs, bringing artwork to life. We will return to the Iron on Wrestling podcast in just a moment, but I wanted to take a couple minutes of this time to let you guys know that if you didn't realize it already, Iron on Wrestling is a DIY project. That's right, I'm recording all of this myself. I'm editing it in-house all by myself. I'm coming up with the segments and the content, and I'm making sure that each and every Wednesday, by investing countless hours of my personal time, you guys have a new, unique, and entertaining episode blasting into your ear holes. So I hope you don't mind that for a few minutes each episode, you have to deal with a little bit of advertising. Because, quite frankly, I gotta pay those bills somehow. But you know, I don't just pick anyone to be an advertiser on the podcast. When I choose an advertiser for the show, I want to make sure that it's someone that can bring you, the listener, value. I often talk about Of the Dead Designs and my good buddy Juan Ortiz, who can create you a unique logo or t-shirt design for your personal brand. But once that t-shirt design is made, who's going to print it for you? Well, that's where Jesse Massey and SBS Printing comes in. Jesse is a good friend of mine, and much like me in this podcast, he's DIY. For over 10 years, Jesse has been printing t-shirts and hoodies in the comfort of his own home, and he's been the official t-shirt printer for guys like myself, Atticus Koger, Eddie Only, Ricky Shane Page, basically all the 440 guys. My favorite thing about Jesse Massey is the quick turnaround time. When I go to Jesse and I need a shirt design printed right away, I know that he'll have it ready for me within 3 to 5 days, sometimes even quicker. And on top of that, he's affordable. Jesse and SBS can print one color shirt designs for as low as $5. $5. Where are you going to find another deal like that? Now you're probably thinking, at a price like that, there's no way these could be quality, long-lasting prints. Wrong! They're super high quality and they're going to last you a lifetime. Jesse and SBS can print you t-shirts,
zip-up hoodies, sweaters, and so much more. I encourage you to hit up Jesse right now. Shoot him an email at antisepticmaxrock@gmail.com. That's ANTISEPTIC maxrock@gmail.com. With Jesse Massey and SBS, you're going to get the best. That's no BS.
Okay, Aaron, it's time for our interview.
Who do we got this week?
He's sitting right across from you.
That's you.
He's been waiting an hour.
You're the guest?
No, it's not no.
Oh, the guy to your right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Eric Ryan.
Oh, snap.
Dog hasn't barked one time until this moment.
So
right
just
now.
so everyone knows, Lola's had severe diarrhea and bleeding and vomitation over the past 3 days. She has not gotten up and moved. When she poops, she just poops and it splatters all against the wall because she can't get up and physically move to go outside.
Disgusting.
So, yes, I've been doing a lot of cleaning this weekend. I had some friends come over and help out. You were nowhere to be found.
Sorry.
Okay.
Out of town.
But you're here to wash your clothes.
That's what I do, but that's not important right now. Right now, we're sitting with the current reigning king of the deathmatch, and in some circles, he's known as the demonic deceitful. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Ryan.
Yes, the demonic what?
Deceitful.
Deceitful?
Yeah.
What's a deceitful?
Disciple.
Disciple. Fuck.
Like,
Son of a
deceitful?
bitch. God damn it. Anyways.
Demonic disciple.
Well, I wouldn't know.
I like the other one.
No, I was just as confused as you were.
Dynamic disciple?
Shut up, man.
Dominic Disciple is my new wrestling name.
All right. God damn it.
Oh, man. You're going to go wrestle for Gmo, aren't you?
Yeah.
It just sounds like the name of somebody who wrestles for Gmo and Psycho Mike.
That is
Go
your
ahead.
favorite nickname, though.
It's up there. It's been on a lot of
Yeah.
trading cards, so that's why I keep
It's on
it
your
up
cage
there.
match.
It is.
That's for sure. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you sometimes wonder in this business,
Uh-huh.
as you're traveling the roads
Uh-huh.
and you're getting paid very little when you start out, you wonder at what
Speak
point
for
people are
yourself.
going to notice you.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to have your big breakout moment?
Mm-hmm.
And Eric, you've had a lot of great moments over the years, but this past weekend might be your greatest. And it comes in the form of, I don't know, lighting a man's dick on fire.
Whoa.
So let's just start out hot, shall we say?
I like to
See
start
what I
out
did
hot.
there?
Yeah.
So let's go back to this past weekend. How do you get into a situation where you are weed whacking and lighting a man's genitals on fire?
To kind of go back to what you were introducing me with, the old saying goes, you can build bridges your whole life and never be known as a bridge builder, but you suck one cock and
Yep.
you know how that goes. And I've been wrestling for how long and
Huh?
burned one dick, and everybody knows me for
Yeah.
burning dicks. And,
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't know, I burnt a man's dick over the weekend.
Now, see, I did not know that. I mean, okay. So, truth be revealed here. Greg texts me. Guess this weekend is going to be, or guess this week is going to be Eric Ryan. And I said, sweet, because Eric and I have traveled the roads for many, many miles. I have managed Eric. I've managed against Eric. I managed Eric in a tag team. I managed Eric singles. I feuded with Eric in a tag team. I feuded with Eric in singles. And so I was all cool. Yeah, cool. Let's get Eric over. I haven't seen him in years. And then Greg's next text to me was, he lit a guy's dick on fire this weekend and it went viral. And I was like, wait, whoa, what?
Yep.
So I immediately went to look it up. Eric Ryan lights a man's dick on fire. And I stopped. And I cleared my search engine because I want to see it right here, right now,
Oh,
in front of all
all
you
right.
people.
Live and in person.
Well, let's hear all about it, Eric.
Let's see. I mean, how far back do we want to peel back the onion? Like, do we want to go to, want to get there?
Sure. I mean, like, I want to know how this all gets laid out.
Well, fuck. I think he had messaged me maybe months and months ago. Like, I want to say like December.
Wait.
if not earlier.
This goes that far back?
Like when he knew the match was gonna happen, and I just ignored the message just to kind of, because it's just like I was like, it's fucking forever.
And this
Like,
is J.J. Allen.
yeah. So I eventually like look at it like I think last week, go over some stuff. I'm like, oh, whatever, this is fine. Get to the building. He's showing me some of the stuff. He's like, oh yeah, this and this. He showed me the spot with what we were gonna do, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, didn't look that bad. There's a few other things we were supposed to do with like a potato cannon.
Okay.
A few other things.
I knew you were going to talk about potato today. Remember, we were just getting ready to go
fuck
on.
him, I hope you're
okay.
dead.
We don't want to put that over on the pod. No potato talk.
And like a bunch of other stuff we were supposed to do that obviously didn't happen because he went up in a ball of fire.
Yeah, clearly.
So the match is going on. Like, things are, I guess, moving as smooth as it can be.
Sure.
And we get to the spot, and I can't find the light fluid, whatever I'm looking for. And I finally find it. I'm like, oh, sweet, here we go. And you know my opinion on fire. I don't fuck with it. I don't ever do it. But I was like, all right, this guy, this is his thing, so whatever.
He pitches this to you.
Yes. So I'll entertain it, and I did it. And I light him, and I notice it is going up a lot.
Yeah.
When can I look this up?
I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
So, and of course, it was a fucking weed whacker you had that you would have found at your grandma's house when you were 14.
Oh my gosh.
Gas powered,
Yeah,
needs primed. You have to hold 7 buttons to get it to
Yeah.
work.
You have to pump it 6 times to prime it, right? Yeah.
So it was already running. I couldn't figure out how to actually like get it to zap or whatever. So I just kind of just pushed it against his groin. I was like, whatever, just fucking illusions, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then he gets up and starts running.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it all turns to shit.
So how long is he on fire before he gets put out? Because the video clips are like, the longest one is like 30 seconds and he's still on fire.
It's probably for like another 20 seconds after that.
Oh my God. Now, okay.
So this man was on fire for nearly a full minute?
Yes. So when he pitches this to you, are there any sort of precautions that he's taken to make sure that this is safe? Like, I don't know, like what the fuck? I see it like he's pulling off his pants. Is that his only game plan here?
Well,
Like,
and he calls him his water team.
okay.
He calls what his water team?
His entourage that was with him. His
Wait,
water
he has
team.
a whole stable of guys?
They were supposed to put him out. If you see the one guy that has like longer hair that's just filming while he has like a 7-foot flame coming off of his cock.
Yeah.
That has like a water bottle like half this size. I mean, you can't see
I'm pretty positive in one of the videos I see a guy try to put him out.
Yeah, and he's still filming, and he's like just throwing
I think,
drops of water.
I'm pretty positive one of the guys had a can of beer that he tried pouring on the flame, which does not help at all.
And but one of those things too, as soon as I lit him, and after he started running, he went towards the wall. And there was one thing I remember from the meeting was do not touch the wall. And he's going toward the wall. I'm like, this motherfucker. I was like, he just went toward the wall. I was like, that's the one thing. I was like, I'm fucked. Like,
yep.
And then eventually they had to pour out the pop coolers of water onto him.
Oh my God.
And then ref comes over and he's like, go over there and pin him. So I was like, okay. You already know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Just what the fuck, man?
Which he got beat up.
What? Okay, that's a whole nother story. Oh my God.
Yeah, he got fucking beat up and then booted.
Oh my God. So like, all right. So this dude just wearing regular. Did he wear a cup or anything?
He did, and that was melted to his leg.
Holy, that's got to be worse, right?
It saved his dick from being burnt.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
I guess
he had 2nd-degree burns on his legs, I guess, but his bird was still good.
that's awful. I hate everything that you're saying.
He should have wore a cup.
But I mean, when I
said
pinned
protected
him,
by Gargano.
Okay.
when I walked over to
No.
pin him, it's just he had both hands just covering his shit because he had no pants, nothing. Like he was naked, like they were burnt.
He was naked.
This was in the locker room?
No, this was right in front of the concessions.
He had to pin
He
him
was naked?
Because the match was still going on. I pinned a naked man. I've been a naked, burned man.
This is incredible. So
Wrestling's the only fucking sport. Like, the match isn't over when the referee looks and goes, well, his dick's on fire. We should call the match.
No.
He comes over and says, you got to complete the...
you gotta
Yeah,
pan him.
we need the 3 count. We need the 3 count.
This man has just got severe burns, and he's just like, fuck me.
So when he pitches this, there's no hesitation to do the spot. You're just like, fuck it, okay, if that's what you want.
Yeah, because I'm like, all right, he's done this before. He showed me the video. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
And was there any problem with doing the fire in the building? Like,
oh, yes, a big problem, because he was told, apparently, that 1 million times to not do it inside.
And you had no idea about
I
this?
didn't.
Okay. Well, that's probably going to lead to problems, I would imagine.
Yes.
So you could have done it outside the building?
Well, I wouldn't have done it, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I was going to
take the match
say.
outside.
Right.
set his dick
And
on
then
fire.
only a couple fans go out
Yeah.
there, and yeah.
Oh God, that's horrific. Anything else we should know about this story? Like, what's the aftermath look like in the locker room after this?
I'm just kind
He's
of
ugly.
like, it's one of those things. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then Vince would just randomly look up at me and go, remember when he burned that dude's dick?
Oh, Vince was there.
Yeah,
I
Vince-
forgot
Vincent
about
Nothing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But it wasn't until the next day, like I finished wrestling and I'm all bloody, and then get to the locker room and someone's like, he's like, dude, your video is everywhere. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? They're like, from yesterday. I'm like, what video? They're like, if you lighting that guy's dick on fire. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, Barstool shared it. Like, it's fucking everywhere.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you serious? And I was like I started looking at it. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
it just got out of control.
Last time I saw it, it was like 1.2 million views or something on
But
Barstool.
one of my favorite things, the only comments I really paid attention to were the poor guy in the wheelchair. They had screen grabs at him, and then people just
A guy in a wheelchair.
people kept putting "back it up, Terry." And
Yeah.
then, I just kept laughing at it, and it was terrible.
Because the guy that was on fire, J.J. Allen, he runs by and like you get.
Oh shit, we can't spoil. We can't spoil the whole thing. There. That's
Just let me watch this before you keep talking about it.
Okay. Well,
just stop right now. Pause it. Let me watch.
All right.
and then-
Okay. Okay. We just showed Aaron.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Nothing
it?
wrong with that.
also to go back. Part of the video that didn't get on there, as I have my foot on his neck and I have the lighter fluid in my hand, someone in the crowd yells, "You don't have the fucking balls to do it."
Yes, they do.
And then that's when I do it, and then I had the lighter man. He goes like, "You don't have the fucking balls." I was like, "I don't have the fucking balls." And then that's when
I love it so much. Aaron, do you know what would be horrific?
If I was a female, being your girlfriend.
Okay, well, I think Nicole really enjoys being in a relationship with me. So
Not what she says privately.
you are lying as usual. What I was going to say is, what would be very horrific is if, I don't know, something were to happen where someone just started pouring gasoline all over my testicles and then
Ooh, mine too.
lit it on fire.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't want that.
Oh, no,
It's not a thing you want. But you know what's really catching fire?
What is?
The brand new Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0.
Oh!
And guess what? It's made to trim up those pubes down below. And you know what? You don't have to worry about second or even third degree burns. But your friends are going to feel the burn of having to live with the pain of not having their very own Lawnmower 4.0.
How many lights this one got?
Listen,
How many lights?
let me tell you that this Lawnmower 4.0, it does have an LED light attached to it. Now you're probably saying, well, listen, I have the old Lawnmower 3.0, and that also has an LED light. And Manscaped's not trying to pretend like they created the LED light, but listen, LED lights, they go on most power tools,
Yeah.
and they help you see what you're doing. So why not have an LED light on your Manscaped 4.0, which, by the way, this one, it's optional, okay? You don't have to use the LED light, but
Right.
it's there if you need it, because this one has an on-off switch, which you did not get with the old Lawnmower 4.0. You know what else this has?
With the old Lawnmower 3.0.
Well, the old 3.0, you know, they just had the standard one blade.
Right.
That's fine. But this has an improved blade head on this one. and it's not steel, it's ceramic, and so it's going to last longer than steel. But also, you have interchangeable blades, so you could do a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 different millimeter blades. So if you don't want to shave the entire pecker, it's okay. You can just trim it up a little bit. That's what it's for. It's very convenient in that sense.
That's what it's for, .0.
Exactly. It's definitely a step up. It also, of course, still has the wireless charging, but this one is different because you can actually use charging docks that you own. That's right. You don't even have to use the one that comes with the Manscaped 4.0. You can just put it on whatever charges dock you have.
And that's what I did today.
Did you?
Yep. And now it's all charged up, so I'd like to show you.
Oh, please don't show me. I don't need
Wait,
to see
what?
it. No, but you know what? Once it's charged up, you still get that 90-minute battery life as well, which is very great.
Oh, yeah.
You could spend an hour and a half just trimming that dick, making sure it looks good.
Wow, that was interesting.
Yeah, you like that?
Hey, how many lights?
Why are you so fixated on the lights?
How many lights on it?
One LED light.
One. You know why?
Why?
Because it's a spotlight.
It is a spotlight.
A spotlight for your balls.
And you know what? That spotlight's going to work no matter what happens. That's including dropping this in water, because the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0, much like the 3.0, it's waterproof. But you know what? They did even better with this waterproofing, because in fact,
It comes with a life jacket.
it does not come with a life jacket. No,
my
you
bad,
don't need
my
a
bad.
life jacket. You're not going to drown. I hope you're not. But with this,
I know you're going to drown in if you start using this.
oh, I see what you did there. I like that. But see, with this waterproof Lawnmower 4.0, you can drop it into the whole entire sink of water, because you know what? You're fine. Now, listen, we don't...
Who shaves their balls above the sink?
Listen,
I ain't that tall.
if you're, I don't know, Giant
I'm
Gonzalez,
shaving it.
if you're Giant Cucamonga,
Oh, there we go.
you might be running some water, okay? Maybe you're washing some dishes for some reason. I don't know why you're doing this in the kitchen.
What?
But perhaps maybe you drop your Lawnmower 4.0 into the sink while you're doing dishes. What a careless mistake. When that happens, you know what? You can reach in and dig it out, knowing that your Lawnmower 4.0 will still be completely functional. And your penis will be very functional and clean shaven when you're going to town on your mate. And over 70% of mates love a shaved dong. I mean, I've been telling this
And
to
over
people for weeks.
80%, 90% love someone who doesn't shave their dong over the dishes. Hey, you know what? I got to clean this bread pan. Let me wash this out with some Dawn dish soap. And also, at the same time, finna shave my balls.
Well, you know what? Hopefully you're not using that Dawn dish soap on your pecker, because the Lawnmower 4.0 is going to come with, of course, the ball deodorant and the ball toner. So you don't have to put that Dawn dish soap underneath your pecker anymore. Now, you don't want to put that on the
Dawn
tape.
dish soap.
You're going to want to use the deodorant, because, listen, you're putting deodorant on your armpits. Why aren't you putting it on your taint? Why?
And what about that toner?
Toner's great too. Little psh, psh, right
Yeah.
there. It's kind of like arrogance. If Rick Martel was around, he would throw away the arrogance to use the ball toner. I believe that
We
in my
got to
heart.
get him on the show.
Truly. Yeah, we should. I mean, it's not like he's dead. I'm saying.
Do you try the ear trimmer and nose trimmer?
I love it. And
Right?
actually, it's
It got
nice.
all the hairs.
It's nice because it's a chargeable one. I hate changing batteries on a nose trimmer. It's very convenient in that sense. It's high power. And I do struggle with the ear and the nose hair, so it's very convenient to have the Weed Whacker, as it's referred to. And you know what? You can own your very own Weed Whacker and the Lawnmower 4.0, and guess what? You can get it at a discount, because...
How much?
Well, listening to Iron on Wrestling, if you use a promo code PARDON, that's PARDON, you're going to save 20% and get free shipping. That's right, promo code PARDON, 20% off and free shipping. So do yourself a favor, buy yourself the Lawnmower 4.0, and buy yourself the Weed Whacker. Save some money. Use PARDON as your promo code. And I'll tell you what, your cock is going to thank us.
And so will your balls.
Yep, that's right. So take care of business. Take care of yourself. 20% off. Promo code PARDON. Let's go to our interview. You've had quite a few injuries in wrestling. What do you think is the worst? And like, I'll have my pick for you. I think the grossest one for you was the shopping cart. That was like 2 years ago, right? Was that Tournament of Survival?
No, it was just a random show.
Random show. Okay. Do you want to talk about the shopping cart thing, or like what do you think is the worst injury?
For me, that's probably like the gruesome visually, but the worst would be MRSA.
Oh well, yeah, that's pretty fucking bad.
Oh yeah, I don't think I. Maybe you might have told me.
What?
He had MRSA.
Well, let's talk about it then. Let's get into it.
I've had that full-blown MRSA about 4 times.
Yeah.
Why does that keep happening?
It's just more susceptible to it now that I've had it.
Yeah. Okay.
And just with bleeding and obvious, just not the cleanest of areas. It's
Wait. I'm sorry. Independent wrestling shows that are
it's hard to believe.
emanating from bingo halls and.
Do you remember the first time you got it?
Yes. It was after, let's see, the shower pain sliced up my arm. That healed up. And then after that healed up, you can see that little spot right there. There's like a little like black dot that formed, almost like a spider bite. That was kind of like squeezing it. And then this was at the AIW show where I wrestled Cheech and Colin, me and Bobby did. The one Kidman was at.
Okay, yeah. He was doing a seminar.
Yeah, and then that's when I started like feeling like sick and like slow and like almost like I'm starting to get a flu, and like because that's what was starting there. MRSA was like boiling up,
like right by your tricep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but MRSA's no joke, man. You can die from that.
So the next day it got worse.
Yeah.
And then like I'm squeezing it, and it got so bad that I almost passed out from squeezing it because it hurt so bad, and like dude, like shit was coming out of it. Like it was awful. So I go to the hospital, and then they're immediately like, "We need to, you have to get surgery. Like you have to get all that drained, removed, and I had to get tubes and all that shit."
Oh.
But with all that between like getting sick, letting the infection go through, doing the antibiotics, and letting that all go through, it's like almost having a flu for 2 months straight. That doesn't go away because the antibiotics make it way fucking worse, and they feel like you just want to die.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I hate everything you're saying. What about the shopping cart? Lay out the scenario how this even happens.
Everything had gone fine in that match up until then. Schlatt gave me the Alabama Slam on it, and I didn't feel it. I didn't feel anything go in. I just remember him pulling my leg, and my whole body and the shopping cart went. And I was just like, yo.
What happened here?
You don't remember this?
Well, how do I remember? Was I part of wrestling then?
I don't know.
Remember, I haven't been around in
Eric's going to pull up a picture
6
for you,
years
I'm sure
or something.
here. It's
Yeah,
pretty disgusting.
I have a full video of it. I should.
Okay.
Here, as I'm killing time. But he does
Eric,
the
is that a flip phone you got there?
It is.
He's not Hobo Joe. Hobo Joe legitimately came here with a flip phone. It looked like he bought it in 2005 last week.
Okay.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to
Well,
watch
that's
this.
just
I really
me
don't like
stuck on it.
Like, you're not going to be able to... It's not that
So
bad.
You saw how I kind of had to up and move.
Well,
Like,
something was stuck in your back? Is that what was happening?
yes.
Which portion of the shopping cart was it?
Oh, the steel or the metal or whatever that is?
Where, let's see, I'm trying to think. In the front part, right under the handle, you know where the whole basket can flip up?
Is it where the quarter goes? when you're at Aldi's?
I don't know.
Like
if
a piece of that flipped up, and it was
Yeah.
about 4 inches. And here, you can, oops.
I didn't finish my thought there. Eric, do you like Aldi's?
I love Aldi.
Aldi's nuts in your mouth?
Okay.
But here, as you can see, like that piece of metal right there.
Yeah.
Like that was
That's fucking gross, dude.
Yeah.
That was
Why is this a thing you do?
an asshole.
We'll have to put the clip on social media so everybody can see it.
Wow, man.
It's pretty disgusting. So
So I was stuck on it, and I told Slack, I was like, "Yo, like, I'm stuck." Like, and they're trying to pull me off, and I couldn't. I had to take my fingers and go inside my back, and then figure out where the end of it was, because it was. If I show you the photos too, there's 2 holes where it went in. So I don't know if something looped around and got caught, but like it was just gross either way. Go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I am how I am and how I look.
Yeah.
And I walk in there and I was
You're
like,
in your wrestling gear?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Bloody.
saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
I showed them
up.
everything that happened. I might as well just go through the whole thing and just tell the shitty ER story.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You're the guest.
So I'm walking in. I even showed them the video. I was like, "This is what happened."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "This is why I'm here." And they're just kind of like, they just looked at me like I had two heads. They're like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this guy?"
Yeah.
So they're kind of checking me out. And this one girl, she's like, "Oh, the cuts on your head are so bad." I was like, "I really don't care about that right now." I was like, "There's a giant hole in my lower back." I was like, "Can we get to this like right now?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Sir, you need to calm down." She's like,
Did you say it just like you said it just now?
"Yeah." In my head, I'm like, I'm pretty fucking calm for having a giant hole in my back right now. And I was like, whatever. So they took me to the trauma area. And I've never been to the trauma area in the ER, so this is the first time. So I get to the bed, and then I sit down or lay down. And they're like, all right, we need you to take off your clothes. And so I tried to get back off the bed, and I went to go bend down. I couldn't even take off my shoes. I couldn't do anything. So they took all the clothes off me, and I was in the bed, and I was just laying there naked. And I was just kind of like, in my head, I'm like, can I have like a towel or something? So they gave me a pillow, and then they went to go give me the blanket.
Oh, they had to give you a whole pillow, huh?
And instead of unfolding
No washcloth
the blanket,
for Eric
they
Ryan.
threw it at me like a fucking frisbee.
Oh God.
So it just
Because they don't respect what you do.
apparently.
Yeah. Cactus Jack told this story.
Yeah.
So nurses, just doctors, in and out, in and out. There's
Yeah.
probably like 6 or 7 people in there at one time, like just doing stuff, and then 3 armed guards just walk in front of the room and cross their arms.
What?
Oh, because you were so dangerous.
And I was
because-
like, I'm like, what the fuck?
They think you're a threat?
well,
I
he
wasn't
just got
sure-
body slammed onto a shopping cart.
And I
And he's
one
a
of the nurses.
demonic dimension or whatever you called him.
Okay.
I was like, excuse me? And she was like, yeah. I go, is this, like, what's going on here? I was like, is this, what's happening? She goes, oh, this is normal for all trauma patients.
I don't feel
I
like
was
it
like,
is.
really?
I wish this would have been filmed.
I've been in the trauma unit. I don't remember having armed guards in it. So
Yeah, you had to have been.
What were you there for, Greg?
this isn't about me.
Okay.
It gets way weirder.
Okay.
Way
What?
weirder.
I can't wait. I've never heard this portion of the story.
Oh,
So
God. So, as I'm laying there, they stitch my head up. And the woman comes over with a drink. She goes, all right, okay, we're going to give you 3 different CAT scans. You're going to have this drink. We're going to give you one for your intestines. We're going to give you an IV so we can see your cardiovascular system. And then we're going to give you a rectal one. Has anybody told you about the rectal portion? I was like, nope, not at all. She goes, okay, leaves the room.
I'm going to leave
No
you in
explanation.
suspense. I like
Cliffhanger.
that.
And I was like,
Love it.
Okay. So I finished the drink, and the one nurse, she's getting ready to wheel me in, explains the whole thing, goes to the thing. She's like, we're going to do this one. She goes, and the rectal portion. She goes, did anybody say anything to you about that? I go, no. I was like, no. And she goes, okay. Again, leaves the room. And I'm like, is this a joke? Like, what the fuck did I do to somebody? Like,
Oh, man.
they wheel me in. I do the one scan.
Yeah.
They put the IV in. I do the other scan. And they're like, all right, Mr. Graham. They're like, are you ready for the rectal portion? I go, yeah. They're like, have they explained it to you yet? I go, no. I was like, this is as far as we've gotten.
Everybody keeps
on
teasing
3
me.
separate occasions. And she goes, okay. And so what they had to do was take probably something the size of that White Claw can. Maybe a little thinner.
What White Claw can?
Okay. Anyways.
The one that's the neighbors are fucking with.
Yeah.
That's my kid's. Remember, he got it for his birthday. He's 12.
Terrible parrot.
They gotta start sometime.
It's all a joke.
And there's a balloon on the end of that. They're like, we're going to jam this into your rectum. We're going to blow the balloon up. And
They say jam?
then they might have.
Okay, 'cause
Maybe
like
insert jam.
yeah,
however you
because I
wanna-
feel like I would be
however you wanna
terrified if they
spice
say
it up and make it
jam.
sexy for everybody.
We're going to force this.
It was pretty much forced because there was
Didn't have much wiggle room there?
no.
You don't have much
It's tight
experience
as a
with
snare.
okay.
It gets
You wish
better.
you could have made the hot tag to Greg at that point?
I wish the hot
Yeah.
tag was there.
Yeah.
So they had me roll me on my side, and they're like, "All right, take a deep breath," and they ram this thing in as hard as they can in my ass. And I
Wait. They put the jelly or no?
They might have put it on the thing, but they didn't put it on my asshole. I'll tell you
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I would have asked them to.
that. So they put that in, and I almost kicked one of the nurses in the face.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Sir, you need to relax."
Did you slap your leg when you almost kicked her?
No, I would have been fine in the hospital. She was like, "You need to calm down." I was like, "I can't." I was like, "You've jammed something into my asshole." I was like, "It's not comfortable."
Right.
Yeah.
So eventually, I kind of relax, and I'm like, "Okay, deep breath."
Yeah.
I get into the machine, and it stops.
Oh no.
And then all I hear is like whispering and like an "oh no," and I was like, "Oh no, what do you mean, oh no?" And then I could see through the tube. All 4 of them are just huddled around, just talking to each other.
These medical professionals.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
like, whispering, and I'm like,
Man, it
"What
sounds
the
like
fuck?"
E.T. or something.
I come out of the tube, and they're like, "We have an issue." I go, "Yeah." They're like, "The device that's inside of you right now is defective." They're like, "We need to remove it and put in another one."
You should. Now, could you put one in that vibrates?
Shut up.
That's the last time I went to that dentist.
I wasn't paying for it. That's on the citizen's dime.
So what's your reaction when you hear this?
It's just devastating that I had to go through that again.
Devastating. Yeah,
I
that's
was
So
like-
they did that. This happened.
Oh,
This
yeah.
actually
It was
happened. They had to
broken.
take it out.
And they put another one in. They finally get me in the tube, and I finally relaxed. And the woman goes, "All right, once we fill this balloon with water," she goes, "you're going to want to shit it out because it's just expanding your bladder and everything."
And then she
And
used
she's
the
like-
medical professional term shit.
And she's like, "You're going to need to relax."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, God." So they start filling it up, and I was like, "Oh," like you could feel like I had to shit immediately.
Oh,
I'm holding it, and it finally comes out.
The shit or the...
Everything.
Okay.
And it was very relieving.
Yeah.
Get wheeled back to the room.
Uh-huh.
The doctor comes in, tells me what's going on, and he's. I was a 1/4 inch away from
Getting a liver.
that going through my kidney,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
completely taking my colon and like cutting it in half.
Oh my
what the-
fucking
like, rupturing
God.
it. It was a 1/4 inch away, and I almost had a permanent colostomy bag.
Oh, my God.
That is awful. And also, that story is very similar to my broken dick story. And now I know how everyone feels when I tell that story, because this is not something that I want to.
Very
Jersey,
uncomfortable.
fucking Jersey ER, man. The
That's
worst
where I
place.
was. That's
Jersey City.
New Jersey for my dick.
Oh, what do you guys... and Jersey's notoriously
This is
known
why
to
I
be the
drove-
dirtiest state
This
in
is why
America.
I drove home when I got sliced up to begin with. I don't fuck Jersey. It's the worst place.
Oh my God.
Probably better
It
just
gets
to get
even
to
weirder.
Cleveland.
You'll like this part. I mean,
Oh, boy.
2008, Aaron would have loved
Okay.
this.
Oh God.
So, I'm getting ready to get stitched up because he explains all this stuff. And so instead of like giving me some shots and like numbing me up, the doctor goes, "All right, we're gonna give you an IV of Xanax."
Yeah, okay.
And I go, "Why?"
Oh, yeah, to
And
relax.
he starts laughing and he goes, "I'm glad you don't know what that's for." And I'm like, in my head, I go, "No, you fucking cunt. I know what Xanax is for.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck gives that to somebody to sew them up?
Yeah.
Like, that's never happened."
Yeah.
And so I get sewn up, and then like I kind of wake up and I stir up, and then because I was out for like a half hour. And
Who
had
was
no
with
idea.
you?
Nope. Robles and Mike Burns.
Okay.
No
so
shit, the guys from Smart Mark, huh?
There you go.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah. Where was I at?
You said it gets weird.
Something was in your ass,
Xanax.
and something was out of your ass.
Yeah.
Then they
Tons.
drugged you and attempted to put something else in your ass. Now, that's only happened to me on a couple of occasions. Once was when I was a Boy Scout, and the other was the time I was a Catholic schoolboy.
I got stitched up. I think it was like less than 5 stitches. Because with my history in MRSA, they wanted it to drain just in case it needed to drain.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting ready to let me go. And the doctor's like, "All right, you can get ready to go. We're going to send the nurses in, do all the paperwork, yada, yada." 5 minutes go by. They go in. They're like, "We need you to stay overnight." And I go, "No, this can't happen." So I had just medically discharged myself. I didn't know that was a thing I could do. So I ended up doing that. And then
What made you? How'd you get that idea that you could just go?
I told them I can't stay. I was like, "No, I got to go home."
And then they said
They
you
were
can.
like, "You want to medically discharge yourself?" I go,
Yeah.
"I could do that." They're like, "Yep." I go, "Yeah, I want to do that."
yeah,
right now."
yeah. They
And
can't keep
then
you against your will.
I
right?
ate about 40 ibuprofen on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
You know, if it were a leave, you'd only need to take 2. That's
Here,
an inside joke.
I can show you guys the pictures. I was bruised up so bad, and then about 20 days later, I went to Japan.
So after this happens, And I mean, I know the mindset. There's not even a question that you're going to continue wrestling. Like, tell you almost lose parts of your body because of this.
Well, one of my first questions, like when I was there, I asked him, I was like, how long will this take to heal up?
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's the side angle. That was my ribs.
Jeez.
That is disgusting. Again, we will
need to
post
post
this
this,
on
yeah.
social media. It's disturbing to say
There's
the
the one
least.
foot. You can see how like swollen it was.
That's not
Just
good.
ignore my dick in that photo.
That's fine, yeah.
That's what was so swollen.
You can barely see it, actually.
Oh, here's after the kind of swelling and bruising went down. That was the cut sewn up.
That's really bad, Eric. God
Yeah.
damn, dude.
What are you doing this for?
Now, when you entered wrestling, is this what you envisioned? I mean, it can't
Here's
be,
what I was
right?
talking about, where there was like 2 entry points.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's the photo that I've seen. That's really
I could
bad.
stick something in that.
It's a
Like
very
just
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
that
You can
is
see
That's
all
real
inside.
bad.
that was the nicest thing they did though. They took that photo for me because I was like, what does this look like?
You asked them to take the
Yeah,
photo? Yeah,
Yeah, it was
nice.
very kind of them.
Yeah.
I guess for size purposes, you can see how big it is. Then
Yeah, you can definitely.
Oh, I don't need to see your penis again.
That's it's really gross.
Hey, I got a question though.
Go for it.
Eric, what? You had to get stitches, I think, after a resolution. You and I drove. We were driving home, and I had to convince you to stop at like the CVS so you could get stitched up, or maybe they glued you. Do you remember this at all?
That must have been the mirror incident.
Did I get stitched up after the mirror thing?
After what?
It was
mirror
He got
thing.
hit with a mirror. That's why.
That was it. That was it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
we
he got
we
bashed with a
stopped in
mirror.
a oh man, it was like a CVS or something on the way, or Walgreens in Lakewood. Yeah, we were just like driving, and I went, oh, there's a Walgreens over there. I need to grab a soda, and your boy was like, Eric was like, yeah, okay, we can pull in here for a second, and he was like, oh, it says there's a medical facility here.
Mm.
And I was like,
Well,
trying to convince him, hey, just sit down for a minute, see, and then I think we did blood pressure stuff, and I don't know, then eventually they did something to you there. I think they stitched you, or they glued you there.
I don't remember.
What was the spot, Eric, to kind of lay it out for everybody? This is Resolution.
It was Jason
4?
Bane and Crimson.
Okay.
Okay.
Was that Bane and Crimson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep. Resolution 4 for the belt. And how do you end up getting bashed at the mirror? I don't remember the spot exactly.
Well, Crimson was from the Broken Mirror, right? That was his hometown.
That was his
okay.
hometown. Yes.
That makes
And I
sense.
think that's poetic. That was the artistry in that.
Like how it came about or wherever, how we got to it. It was one of those, he hit me with it, and then as he pulled up, like there was just a piece probably an inch
Bane
long.
hit you with it, or Crimson?
Crimson.
Okay.
That was just in the back of my ear. Like I think I have a photo of that as well.
These are all awful injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember I could hear it when Gory was pulling it out. Like I just remember like he's just freaking out. He's like, oh shit. And I'm like, what? And he goes, don't move. And you could hear it like as he's pulling it out of your ear.
When you got into wrestling, was deathmatch wrestling something that you wanted to do, or was it just something that at some point you figured maybe you'd be okay at it?
I mean, I watched it, but it wasn't on the radar as far as like things to do.
Right. You grew up in, was it Amherst?
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in Amherst. At what point, what's your first memory of wrestling?
How old are you?
36.
Are you
Wow,
really?
We're all getting old. Makes me feel sad.
I don't have that vivid memory like you do.
Yeah.
Of like dates and who wrestled who.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. What stands
So
out in your mind?
what made you think? Yeah, like I might like this. Who do you remember? Who your first favorite wrestler was? I
Rick
think you're past
Martel.
Hogan. Yes,
Rick Martel? I
We're
love
big
that.
fans of Rick Martel on this show.
He's so underrated. man.
Yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
It was, I don't know, like I just, as a kid, it was him and the Bushwhackers. Those are my guys.
Aaron loves the Bushwhackers.
Maybe that's
Do you
how
know
we
my
just get
history with the
along. It just-
Bushwhackers?
No.
I've never, because I had never told the story until we started this podcast. But I saw the Bushwhackers in Lorraine at a indie event.
Eric loves this already.
They were going through. Do you know the Palace Theater
Yes.
in Lorraine? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's huge. right? And there's a stage that they wrestled on, and then there's all these rows of chairs, like 1,000 rows.
Wait, they wrestled on the stage?
Yeah. The ring was on the stage.
So
and then
just wrestled the one side? Or were there people on the side?
Okay, so the stage is back here, and then all the chairs are this way. Except around ringside, they put folding chairs.
Okay, probably like, what, 2 rows?
There were probably 10, something like that. The stage is big there. This is a big, like, amphitheater type of deal. And so during intermission, you could get merch, and the bushwhackers would go around, and they were signing things and whatever. And they came from the stage, walked down, and then went through the crowd. And as they were going through the crowd and they were saying hello to everybody and signing things, I was walking by and I went, "Hey, it's the Bushwhackers." And Luke came up and he went, "Oh, good night, mate." And he gave me a big squeeze on my tukish. And his finger almost went in my anus. It was a firm, it wasn't like a good game pat on the butt, you know? It was, I can't wait to touch you inappropriately.
Did you let him?
I didn't have a choice. I didn't know. I walked past him.
Like...
No, I didn't. And that's why it took me so long to get into wrestling.
So the last couple years on his birthday,
Traxxer got me into wrestling. It was like a couple fingers.
All right. Last couple years on his birthday, I bought.
You should have been loose then for them to be able to put that. You ever seen Traxxer's fingers? Those things are huge.
Okay.
Go ahead, Greg. Tell
I was going to say we bought him cameos the last couple years from Bushwhacker Luke, and he's enjoyed every bit of them, especially because Bushwhacker Luke will read whatever you write. So he calls him Sweet Baby Angel and everything in these cameos, and it's really good. But so you see Rick Martel, you see the Bushwhackers. At what point?
Come on. And the Bushwhackers were notorious for smelling like sardines, and Rick Martel was notorious for spraying people with arrogance.
Two very different
you had
sides
some
of
weird
spectrum.
fetish back then.
At what point do you think you want to be a pro wrestler?
I think like the fantasy was always there just as a child, but
Yeah.
like, you know, that just like legitimately like fizzles away as you get like a little older. You're like, all right, maybe I'll do this job, but you still kind of like, I like the wrestling.
What did you think you were going to do that wasn't wrestling? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Garbage man. I don't know.
I was going to say that. I'm pretty sure Eric told me this on the road before because we talked for long, long hours.
Why garbage man?
Dude, I don't know. I was a child. I had no ambitions.
You know what? My kids, all the time, they
Same.
always waited for the garbage man to come on. I think it was Mondays where we used to live when they were young. They were like 2 and 3 or something like that. And every Monday, they'd wake up at the crack ass of dawn to make sure that they got downstairs in time to sit and look out the picture window to see the garbage man come and dump all the garbage. And
just got to appreciate the garbage man.
Right. They're always like, "Oh, look at that big truck. That's so cool." And my buddy Tiger Rudo was our garbage man for a while. So, like, he would wave to them, and like, the kids thought it was, like, the coolest shit in the world. Because, like, they didn't think, like, wrestlers and, stars were cool because I was just, introducing them all the time. They were meeting, like, Browns players at AIW shows, and they were meeting Ronda Rousey and all kinds of WWE wrestlers.
Well, if they would have met Duke the Dumpster Droese, that would have been the best of both worlds.
Well, you were supposed to get him booked a year ago, and you're still fucking around.
Well, I sent him a message this weekend, and he
And what
never
happened?
replied. So, and then I was on the convention with him, and it was awkward. So, but anyways, so you wanted to be a garbage man.
Well, I mean, like, also, too, like, as a kid, like, you're playing baseball, you're doing all these other things, you're figuring out who you are and, like, what you want to do. And,
for sure.
Of course, things fluctuate, and I'm still, like, in my 30s, and I don't know what I want to do with my life.
Well, I think you're doing pretty good as a wrestler.
think
You know what I
I'm
mean?
all
Like,
right.
you're having a lot of success. Like, I mean, obviously, we spent a lot of time talking about setting a dude's dick on fire, but, like, I've always thought that you're incredibly talented. And,
Thank you.
and especially, like, these days, it just seems like when it comes to psychology, all the pieces have fallen together the last few years, and your aggression. I talk to you about it all the time. I love how aggressive you are. Like, it looks like you're beating people's ass, and then, like, I get in there with you, and I'm seeing it firsthand. You're beating ass in there. Like, it's no fucking joke. Like, I told you at H2O, when you and Bobby were putting the boots to whoever the fuck it was, I got pumped up because it's like I could feel it in that moment. Like, you make it feel real.
Bobby makes it. He's even more intense. I remember hooking brother's leg at the 1H2O, tagging Bobby, and Bobby came in hot and booted this fucker in the face.
Yeah.
So, and my eyes were like, I looked at Bobby, I was like, yo.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Jesus.
It's just good stuff, man. I want to talk about you and Bobby in a bit, but like when you get into wrestling, like how do you end up finding that Mega has a school? I mean, that's where you started, right?
Yes. God, it was the advent of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids listening, right? Under 30 maybe.
Sure.
That might not understand what it was like growing up without the internet and you having to go through encyclopedias to find information. But basically when all that first started, and then everybody's got their Angel Fires and MySpaces, and that's all popular. I ended up like Googling like how to find stuff. And like one of my first couple choices was Harley Race's school. But that was one of those things like financially, like how the fuck do I get down there?
Sure.
And then at the time, Punk was training at the Ring of Honor school, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, go down there."
You love Punk. It's clear if you look back at early Eric Ryan, there was a heavy Punk influence.
Heavy.
Yeah, but Chris Cole trained you too,
Yes.
right? Okay, so Chris Cole was heavily influenced by Punk as well. So it was almost like a natural, I don't know, it seemed like you were in the right place
Yeah.
when you went to Mega.
But then just like started looking locally, and then that's how we ended up finding Mega. I was like 15, 16, like going to the shows and just like helping out, just trying to figure things out. And remember seeing like Shark Boy at shows. Cole was on those shows. Let's see, I saw Hero on those shows. Arrow. Let's see.
Me.
You.
You
Actually,
didn't say me yet, so I just...
Well, I was saving the best for last. You
thank
fucked
you,
it
thank
up.
you.
But on those sports and stuff shows, I'm like this.
Good
recently I
God, you
remember-
were at those?
Yeah, recently I told Ricky, I was like, I was at the match where you and Adam Cage wrestled the Tar and Feather.
Yeah.
Or no, that was J-Rock and Adam Cage, but
Yeah,
Ricky was
yeah.
on that show.
Yeah. Yeah, because Ricky was tag teams with JDB.
They had fucking blue hair then.
Yeah, and they were managed by that spiffy dude.
What are these shows?
Mega wrestling at a place where they did go-karts and batting cages.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Imagine
Yeah.
like a really shitty swings and things.
Okay, well, that sounds less awesome then.
But it was called sports and stuff instead, right? Yeah,
No.
something like that.
Sports and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It
The
was
one
very
cool
low
thing
rent.
they did, where the ring was, they had this set up. It was like a basketball bank shot challenge area. So it would have been like it could be like 4 or 5 different hoops that don't have backboards and one does. And the idea is to hit it on certain angles so it bounces off different backboards and gets into the hoop.
Okay.
So it's almost like a little game.
That's pretty awesome. I like that.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
think they had
bad.
mini golf there and stuff. That was all right. And we had a nice little deal worked out where I think we worked there every Friday night. Was there shows there every Friday night? Do you remember
I
that?
don't remember that, no.
Oh, you just remember going there? Yeah, I think they were every Friday night or every other Friday night. And I had just turned heel and joined with Brandon X, who had just graduated training classes or training, whatever. And John McChesney, the fabulous John McChesney, the big league John McChesney.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was hitting my heel stride right then. And I think we were supposed to be with, who was that guy that said he got mad at JT one time, said he was going to eat his kids?
The ref?
No, Rageous. Kid Rageous.
Oh, Lamont.
Yeah, yeah.
Lamont said he was going to eat his kids.
Yeah, and then he got fired and he wasn't in our group
We
anymore.
randomly saw Lamont in a parking garage in Tampa WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah?
I'm sure
Like
you
we
did.
pulled into the garage, we get out of the car, we turn around, and we're like, is that Lamont?
Yeah. So Lamont is a notorious local shitbag who never did much of anything, ran a promotion, then moved to Texas, and this will shock everyone listening, but then he started running a shitty promotion in Texas and now has a bad name in Texas after he already had a bad name in Ohio.
Oh, I don't. He never booked me for any shows, and I never had to do anything. But I think I managed him one match before he threatened to eat JT's children.
Okay.
So I can't speak on any of that. But yeah, so I'm just surprised that you were at those shows. Like I had no idea. I remember. Oh man, it
That was
really had
fucking
some.
oh my god.
Yeah.
20,
02? 01?
Yeah.
20 years ago.
That's how time flies, right?
Holy shit.
I mean, I still have the DVDs. And so, like, if I can find those,
Find him.
yeah. I think I gave them to Ricky, actually. Because JDB made the videos for them.
Okay.
and
You
he
think
did
Mego's-
highlight videos.
You think Mega was putting out DVDs then, or would it be VHS?
No, it was DVDs.
Okay.
This was the first time they had a DVD.
Okay.
And then I went to Traxler and I said, we should do weekly DVDs that we can give out like at these shows, or we can sell at these shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so JDB did some highlight videos. And I remember he did to Boys of Summer. You know that old Don Henley song?
Yeah.
Except there was an updated version
By the
with the
Ataris.
Ataris. Yes. So JDB did the videos for that. And anyway, I don't know why I'm going off on this
You're going
tangent
off
about
on
the
yeah.
So it just surprises me that Eric was actually there.
Yeah, and I was at the flea market too.
Yeah,
When
because
they
if
had
you
it
saw
in that
Hero,
back
then
area, yeah.
it was probably...
That place was awesome. I
Mhm.
wish he would still have that.
What made you pull the trigger on actually doing the training?
Just old enough, and the time was right. I think
Yeah.
that was about 2021 by the time I started training.
Okay. And so Aaron sort of alluded to it. You trained under Chris Cole. Chris Cole's a guy that I think has been underrated for a long time. What was it like training with Chris?
Aggressive. Like, he showed no mercy. He would just rough you up, and then if you came back, you came back. If you didn't, it's kind of like, oh well. I guess it's the older way of being trained. And then,
See, I always hated that approach. I'd go in and I'd be like, aren't we trying to take people's money here? Why are we beating the shit out of people so they don't return?
Well, I
Keep
mean, he
them
didn't-
along, even if they're never going to ever be on the show. I want their money every week.
See, that's like a shitty way of looking at it. Like, I think
You're
like,
a shitty way of looking at
all
it.
right.
I think I'm more like appreciative of it now. Like
Yeah,
the
that's-
fact that that's the way I've been trained, so I've been rocked throughout
Right.
training. So it's if somebody hits me, it's not like it's anything new.
Right.
I can't do anything worse than he used to do to me.
Right. Listen, I was not the biggest fan of JT, and I don't think he gave me sound fundamentals when it came to psychology and stuff. He didn't explain why I did stuff, but he was rough, and I think I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like getting beat up. I don't know. I had more respect for wrestling, I think, and I'm not saying that people should be beat up. I do hate trainers that take liberties, but I think what you're trying to say that Cole did was he just made you feel like with the aggression and like I guess the stiffness of it that like it was serious. You know what I mean? Like this isn't something to fuck around with, right?
Yeah.
Like that's that. I think
Almost the analogy of like if someone coddles somebody throughout their whole life and then they throw them out in the real world and then they get fucked up. And
Yeah.
It's just like you coddled them. Like it's like no, this is the real world. Like when you go out there, this is what's going to happen.
And look, this is a perfect time to talk about this. We talk about it now and you want to post it on Twitter and stuff, but you can't because Twitter will pile on you because everybody's a good wrestler and everything. Eric, you know as much as I do, there's so many guys that are getting over with the internet, and whether it's just them pandering to fans or whatever. And listen, there's nothing wrong with having a good relationship with fans between wrestlers, whatever the fuck. But there's like a section of dudes that are not good wrestlers. But you cannot go on the internet and say these guys are not good, or you can't even give these guys advice because no one wants to take criticism, right? So it's like one of those situations where do you think the newer generation of wrestlers isn't being trained properly, or like what do you attribute that to?
A little bit of everything. Because I remember, being young and trying to take advice, and it just doesn't happen.
Right.
And then, like, you even notice it now, trying to give people advice, and you know who will take it and who won't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the people that don't take it, fuck them.
Right.
Like, because they'll end up fizzling out. And the people that do listen, that you see them, like, every month or so, like, they're getting a little better, they're doing this, or they're getting those better opportunities, you're like, all right, they took the advice. And not saying my advice... anybody's, yours, Aaron's, is going to be 100% right. Like, it's all a melting pot. Like, what I like is going to be different from what someone else likes, and what you're doing today could be different and not correlate to the story, but you have to do A, B to get to C.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's just like it's all subjective at the end of the day, but there's still a right way to go about it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the perfect way to explain. Now, when you talk about giving advice, in your younger years, looking back, who do you think you got the best advice from that helped you the most in the long term?
Early on, probably Cole and Mark Wolf.
Who's Mark Wolf? I don't know Mark.
You don't know Mark?
No.
Old IWA guy.
Him and Hero were really close.
Okay, yep.
I reffed a match one time. It was Hero and Mark Wolf. And we had, I think we were in Philly together the night before.
Okay.
And we all traveled back to Cleveland for Mega Wrestling. And the main event of the show was Chris Hero and Mark Wolf. And they were, I think Hero was maybe the champ of, what's the place you guys wrestled for, Ian?
Mid-South.
Okay, so yeah. I think one of them was the champion for there. And so the title was being defended on the Mega show. And we had all been so close, like especially throughout this weekend, whatever, that I said, man, I'd like to be somehow involved in the match. And Mark was like, why don't you ref? And I said, okay. And so I come out to ref. Well, in Mega at the time, I had long dreadlocks or braids, blonde braids, and I wore a kilt. And I got in the ring, and Mark's like, what the fuck are you wearing? And I was like, a kilt. And he's like,
you had it on until
he's
you
like,
got in the ring.
to ref? Yeah. And
Really taken away from the match, Aaron.
yeah, and I said, it's my gimmick. It's what I had been wearing at Mega, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, well, this is what I wear. And he was like, yeah, cool. So every time I would go to count a pinfall, there was this little row. Now, remember, I was pretty fucking good looking and jacked when I was 26 or whatever it was. So I had this row of females, and they just kept cheering every time. And then they had, like, their dad with them, and he would go, you better have something on under that kilt. And then, so, of course, to be a dick, even though I was babyface at the time, I'd pull my kilt up to show the grandpa or the dad or whoever he was that, I had little bicycle shorts on underneath. And I'd just show them. And, yeah, so Mark Wolf is good people's, though. Very knowledgeable.
Do you remember what Mark told you, Eric?
Specifically, no. It's just one of those things, just getting in there with somebody rolling around and, like, just learning things here and there.
Like feeling it, and it helps you understand it.
I think between that, just like going on the road and just wrestling in those shit towns, those shit areas with shit people.
Yeah.
And like that's how you get better.
It's a learning experience. Like if you're not traveling, if you didn't leave Illyria, do you think you'd be where you are at right now?
No.
I mean, I think that's the problem most kids fall into. They think that they're going to just wrestle in town.
I remember one time Eric took a booking somewhere that would get him noticed, and Draxler was pissed. He's like, oh, I just built storylines around you.
I think that's why I tried to do CZW.
Yes, that's it. And I was trying to voice what I felt might be Eric's side and my side as well. Jeff, you have a training school. You train kids, and then you want them. The goal is for them to go out and get more exposure.
Because then you can brag like, hey, we trained Eric Ryan.
Yes, and then he can come back, and it means something bigger when he comes back in 3 shows when he's not booked for CZW that weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, man, you gotta respect it. He's trying to get out there. I remember Traxler and somebody else was helping with the booking or something, and they were like, nope, Eric Ryan will never work here again. Well, I don't know that Eric Ryan cares to work here again right now. You know what I mean? Like the goal is to get out and do stuff.
I think CZW, correct me if I'm wrong, that'd be like your first like big regular exposure, right?
Yeah, it would have been like the first big place that I kind of went to.
Before that, I think it was probably CHIKARA when you started to break
That's what I
out.
was trying to think if it was either that or CHIKARA.
So like,
I think it was CZW.
well, like yeah, CZW definitely put you on the map, but I think we had our match at AIW to be in the Young Lions Cup, and it was kind of cool because you were the guy picked to go over. And I remember at the time we had a match that we really enjoyed. I think we talked about this recently too. I think it's probably not as bad as we think, but we had fucking
Shaggy's
uncle
as the ref.
Podcast superstar Jerry.
Oh yes,
his uncle was the ref, and he kept fucking up.
Fucking worst.
he kept fucking up all the counts. Like, what exactly was the scenario? I don't remember.
Mad
exactly.
Max was the ref, huh?
Yeah.
Like, he just wouldn't get down for counts. Like, you were pinning, and we're like, what are you doing?
Because we did a lot of pin combinations in that match, and it just wasn't there for him. But, like, I remember that match was good for both of us, and then you obviously got in the Young Lions Cup, and then whatever happened, someone got injured, and I got in it too. And it was nice being able to make those road trips together. It was me, you, and Johnny on a lot of those road trips together. And like
Johnny who?
Gargano.
Okay, thank you.
I feel,
Well, I mean, I don't know if our crowd knows. You know.
I feel like we had a real bonding experience, like the three
Yeah.
of us, because I mean we spent a lot of time working out together. And I've told this story before.
I already know where
do
you're
you
going.
do you remember this when we worked?
Ephedra tea and Jack.
Dude, what a horrible idea! All right,
Oh, okay,
all right, so,
you told me.
So
Yeah.
tell me what you remember about this day, Eric. Because it was an awful idea.
Was this Young Lions weekend?
It might have been. I don't remember exactly which CHIKARA weekend it was, but I know it was for CHIKARA.
All right, let's
and
just pretend it is.
And
Okay.
I remember we needed to find a gym.
They used to have this ephedra tea that I just remember having it in like a gym back home, like when I lived in Lorraine, and it was awesome, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And then at that time, that Jack supplement was still like OG, like
Very popular, yeah. and it was
Very-
strong.
like it. You felt like heartburn immediately.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you
was
knew it was
real
good.
bad.
And we combined the two, thinking, "Hey, one's awesome, one's awesome. Put together, it's a fucking superpower, right?"
They had that.
And you guys were questioning what I was doing at the time.
Yeah, well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was strange that they had this ephedra tea because I think it was banned at the time.
Oh yeah, they stopped selling it.
But they
Well,
were,
yeah,
but
they always start selling something and they go, it's so bad. Like, that's how I told you that I got onto the steroids.
yeah,
It was a legal steroid called Andro for a long time. Mark McGuire was taking it in baseball. A lot of guys were taking it.
sure,
And they were just all of a sudden huge.
yeah.
And then when I had talked to JT about it, you know, hey, I'd like to get on some, get a little bigger, get a little more cut and shit like that. He was like, dude, Andro, now, because in a month, it's not going to be here anymore. They're going to ban it because it's so strong and such a good steroid.
So for whatever reason, they were selling this ephedra tea. I don't even know whose idea it was to do this.
I think it was mine,
Was it your idea?
probably.
Well, we were on board because we were like, it sounds good. And so we fucking put the jacked in the ephedra tea. Do you remember who started feeling it first? Because I don't remember. I just remember I was working out by myself and I was feeling it. And I know I came up to either you or Johnny and I was like, hey, dude, I feel really bad right now. And it might have been you and you were like, yeah, I don't feel so good
Was this
either.
the one? It was kind of like a poorly lit gym and like
Yes.
had a upper deck with all the cardio equipment up there. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And like we were feeling like shit. And like then I think we told Johnny, we were like, we gotta go. And luckily, if you remember,
Save a lot.
there
right
was the
next
same
door,
lot
yep.
because I was like, I need some
We
food
need
right
some
now.
food, yep.
And we bought some
What'd
food.
you get, like turkey and
I
stuff?
bought like some deli meat out.
Fruit
Yeah.
snacks
Yeah,
and-
like we had to put something in our belly.
Anything, yeah.
Because like we all felt like we were gonna vomit. It was the worst decision we ever made. But like we spent a lot of time working out together and traveling on the road. Any other stories from our experience that come to mind?
Well,
that
like that's just one thing too, just to go back that a lot of kids don't do, and
yeah,
I feel
jacked
like
and ephedra.
a lot of I mean, just driving, getting out there.
Yes.
Like people don't have cars, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Get a license,
Dude, it's always
you want to
been
be a
that
wrestler
way.
and you don't drive? Get fucked. Don't.
Yeah,
you're not
that
getting in
worked
my
out
car.
terribly for Johnny Gargano.
The one because he was good.
He's
That was
so
exceptional.
good.
But also, like, he at least had guys to travel with. Like, dudes
Yeah.
that don't even have cars, like,
Well, you wanted to be in a car with Johnny,
Well,
so you
yeah.
wanted to drive him. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, like, he was incredibly talented, right? But there's, since day one, there's always dudes that don't have fucking cars, but they want to be wrestlers. And it's like, how are you doing this?
I think like just those little trips, like going out like that. That's how like Young
Just
Lions
talking.
Cup came along. Like
Yeah.
because I was there. Mike knew who I was.
Yeah.
Like little things like that, and even Johnny probably being like, "Oh yeah, he's fine. Just use him." Like
Yeah, how did Mike end up picking you to be
I
in
don't
that?
know.
Who's
Really?
Mike?
Quackenbush.
He owns that.
CHIKARA.
Weirdly,
Okay.
the year prior, I had actually emailed him about being in the Young Lions Cup.
Okay.
And then he had gotten back to me. He's like, "Oh no, slots are full. You like, we'll try again. Yada yada."
Okay.
Like I don't know if it was one of the things like he remembered that, and then they're doing the thing with the AIW, and then like it's like a full circle thing. Of,
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things, like just get out there, like get in a car, set up chairs, set up the ring, like talk to people. Like And then I guess another full circle, and I tell the story all the time, like even being at shows and I watch people blow by, even like somebody like Robles or Gary, and it's like, those guys have been around for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Like, I attribute Robles, and I will thank him till I'm blue in the face. Like, I think he's the catalyst and a lot of the reason why I'm where I'm at. Because without him telling Brett, hey, use him on this Milwaukee GCW show, then if I didn't have that death match with Jimmy Lloyd, stuff wouldn't have snowballed.
Yeah.
And all just because I like Robles, like, I talk to him. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like going to the shows, like, talking to him and be like, oh, you know, we're cool. Let's hang out. Let's fucking do all this. And, like, I'm in his head for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, if I just fucking big-balled everybody and just walked to the ring and didn't give a fuck and was just like, oh, I'm at my local show. I'm the fucking big dog.
Yep.
You don't do shit.
And this is something we talk about all the time. Like, so you think, like, maybe, I got to say hi to the promoter or anything. But, like, you should be talking to everybody. Because not only is it just common courtesy to not be a dickhead, you never know who's going to see what you're doing and notice you and who has pull in certain areas. And, like, just be a good person, right? Like, it's not that fucking hard. Just, like, be a good dude. And
I felt like in AIW a lot of times people would be like, that's just the commentary dude.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden Thorne would say at the beginning of the meeting, or Prohibition would say at the beginning of the meeting, everybody needs to get production done. You need promos done, and you go to Aaron for that. And then they were like, oh, I blew him off earlier. You know what I mean? They didn't know I was even in the office.
But also, like, half the fucking people that would do promos there didn't take that serious even when they knew you were the promo guy.
Yep.
No one put any thought into their promos or anything. You know? Like, it's
some people would just try to hide.
Yeah.
You know, some people would say, what do you want me to say? Or some people would say, could you give me bullet points? You know, some people wanted word for word.
Yeah.
You know, to try to, I know it's a random thought, but what trip was it on? I know it was recent. Like, somebody was asking, like, how, like, the music came along, like, where the name came from for me and Bobby.
I think
we talked about this.
I think we were listening to Aerosmith in the car, and Ricky asked you, and you brought it up, and I was listening in the back. I was like, "That's very interesting. Let's talk about that."
Well, the name. We'll go for the name first, because that's.
I just recently told the story, right? Like,
Did you?
yeah, because we talked about Bobby coming back when he joined 440.
Well, let's have Eric talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
Well, he
go,
doesn't
like,
remember
me and
why the
TJ,
name.
Like, I remember,
Right,
like,
but that's where the name originated
Yeah.
from, because you guys were in the ring, you guys were put together as a tag team.
Yeah.
You guys were working out with what the fuck was his name? Kay Fernandez and the Puerto Rican crew or whatever they were, the Puerto Rican Wrecking Crew. I don't know if that's what you guys were called, or they were called. Okay.
Yep.
And then Hobo and Greg and stuff like that. So Biggins had said, Fresh, I need a name for these guys. And I looked up and I went, oh, they look like the Young Stallions. Let's call them the Young Stallions, or the New Young Stallions, or Young Stallions 2.0, or something like that. It was something to do with Young Stallions. And Biggins was like, yeah, that sounds good. Nah, you know what? We've already got hit with 2 trademark clause this week or whatever.
this,
You know,
is still
WWE
this is still early AIW too, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, so I was like, look, I got Young Stallions. Somebody else come up with something else. And then Biggins was like, Young Studs. It was like JR would say, you know, and that's where we went. And then you guys were like, yeah, cool. You guys didn't give a fuck what your name was.
I fucking hated it.
Well, you guys didn't give a
Hated
fuck at the time, because you guys were just trying to get on shows regularly.
But it was you and TJ Dynamite originally.
Yes.
So how does it become you and Bobby?
TJ just had too many seizures, I guess.
We just talked about this recently, too. Remember the one where you guys with Faith and
Yeah,
that
we
thing?
had that ladder match and then the chair riot. TJ had a seizure.
What did I do? Do you remember?
I think you beat him up while he was on the floor having a seizure.
Everybody thought
Choked
that.
him.
I
The
took my
chair.
tie off, and I act like I was choking with my tie, but I was actually holding his head so it wasn't,
Hitting the ground.
hitting against the cement floor.
Very wise of you.
Yeah, and then I just like stepped on him and stuff to try to keep him still, and I didn't know exactly what to do, and I kept thinking, I got to put my hand in this guy's mouth to keep him from swallowing his tongue, because that's what they had.
Yeah.
That was back in the day. People used to think that was a real thing. That wasn't a real thing. Thank God, because
Yeah.
I didn't put. I was going for the mandible claw, and I never did it.
So,
But I thought like that would be a way, if I would have put a mandible claw on him, I could hold his tongue.
Then Ricky and Vince ended up just beating the piss out of Chronica, and then they left Bobby in the
yeah.
in the wings.
So Bobby was in a separate tag team. He was in the Beverly Brothers.
Yes.
So you couldn't get the Young Stallions, but we ended up getting the Beverly Brothers, and they're not even the new Beverly Brothers; they're just the Beverly Brothers. And so now Bobby doesn't have a tag partner, you don't have a tag partner, you guys become one. But so tell us about the theme song, because you guys had the theme song when it was with TJ,
Yes.
So tell us the theme song. What is it?
It is Aerosmith, "Love in an Elevator."
which I love.
It is.
Yes.
It's just
Pretty
so good
incredible.
for you guys too.
We were at Bugsy's in Elyria.
Motherfucker, is
Which
this real?
we just talked about Bugsy last week because we had fucking
We had
Rebus on
Rebus
the
in
show.
the house.
I was a tag team with Rebus once.
Yeah, I tried to get him
God
to talk
almighty.
about it, but he just breezed right by that one. But continue.
We double teamed a stripper.
Okay,
He talked about that one time.
So our favorite stripper, Jersey, was hitting the stage.
Oh my God, that's a reference to that movie. What was that movie?
I don't know.
All the girls danced on a stage. John Goodman was the overprotective dad who finally allowed his daughter to be a stripper at 19 years old.
Was her name Jersey?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I
Oh.
remember this.
I have no idea.
Okay,
Remember, that's where
Dirty Coyote or something.
Rebus got
was
his
the movie.
fuzzy boots from that girl. You remember her?
Yeah.
Anyway, she was on the stage and Love in an Elevator came on. It was one of those things. I look at Chandler and he looks at me at the same time and we're like, this is it. Like, this is the song. Like, and
You were
that's
with
how
Biggins there?
Yeah.
At the strip club?
Yeah, and that's how Love in
How
an
come
Elevator
I wasn't there?
came to be
So weird.
the theme song for the Young Studs.
I love it.
Yeah,
For the Jersey.
It works perfect.
yeah, and I remember Biggins hitting that music, and he was like, "You're gonna love this." And you guys came out. Who was it? You and Bobby that came out to Love in an Elevator?
Well, me and TJ first, and then
First,
Bobby.
yeah, okay. So I loved it no matter what, and I remember Biggins saying, "Well, I'm glad you like it because you're gonna end up managing them." And I ended up managing you and Bobby. There was the swerve because Faith and Nothing they were having problems in their camp, and it looked like the problems were between them, right? And then the problem was actually I turned against them. People were wondering, is Vince going to turn against Ricky? Is Ricky going to turn against Vince? But I think what ended up happening was I ended up turning against both of them and managing you and Bobby to the championships. Was that correct? I swerved them. Something with Ricky's mask came off.
That sounds about right. 'Cause I
Okay.
remember you having the mask with
Yeah.
us.
And then to taunt him, I think I would wear the mask.
Tatanka?
Tatanka wasn't there.
Yeah, I like to hear that about Jersey. You know, there's been multiple occasions that I was in gentlemen's clubs.
So
with
another
Chandler
random
Biggins.
Bugsy story with Bobby. I'll just throw this one out there. I think we talked about this on another thing. But it was after I had broken my finger. Like, I shattered my pinky at a show. Just casually went to the ER, got it fixed up, and then at that time, it was a
Dude,
good...
do you go to the ER so much because those are your initials?
Yes.
Okay.
I just feel comfortable. I feel like I'm at home.
Wow.
But, at the time, they were just like, hey, would you like 40 pain pills to go
Yeah.
home with? And you're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
So then we just took a few of those, got some McDonald's, and went to Bugsy's.
You and Bobby?
Yeah. And the best part of it,
Bobby,
just-
all I remember about Bobby is he always wanted to hit McDonald's on the way to a show because he said they had the best coffee there. And he said coffee was a good diuretic for him.
he still
And
loves his coffee.
Yeah, and he's like, I like to get a good poop out before the match.
Well, I posted that video of him pouring all that sugar in his
Yeah.
coffee at the Waffle House.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
Fucking-
But he had on just basketball shorts and no underwear, just boner just straight out right at the strip club. It was great.
You gotta love Bobby Beverly.
He's amazing. Did you interact with Bobby much before you guys become a tag team?
I don't think so. Like, it was like your typical, like, first meeting somebody at a show. It's like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Until it's one of those things until you actually, like, wrestle with somebody. Then you kind of get, like, that little,
Yeah.
like, you're a little bit closer with somebody.
Sure.
You get a little bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't until then that we kind of started bonding a little bit more. And
Why do you think you have chemistry with Bobby? What makes the tag team work?
he's a fucking maniac.
Like, how does that compare and
And
contrast
then I
with you?
just see him going crazy, and I'm like, all right, I'll go. Let's fucking do
Yeah.
it.
He makes you step up your game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I mean, and I've talked to you about this before. Like, I love the original version, but when you guys took a break for a little bit and Bobby was taking some time off and you came back and you guys are like wearing the different outfits and shit now, and like you guys are just straight up ass beaters, dude.
So what's your name now? What's your tag team name now?
Still Young Studs.
You guys still doing the
Oh,
Young
yeah.
Studs? I'm sorry. Well, earlier you said you were how old?
36.
Hey man, the Heartbreak Kid could still be the Heartbreak Kid.
The Young Bucks are what? How old? They're still young.
Yeah, that's
Young
true.
Bucks.
I think they're.
Well, I used to always say to people, because
Did ever be the Hardy Men?
My name used to be Fresh in wrestling, and when I was the White Rapper, and so I used to tell people when I get 30, I'm changing my name. I don't want anybody to call me Fresh anymore. But people still call me that to this day. I'm a 45-year-old man.
Still real fresh.
There ain't nothing fresh about me, really.
Maybe the breath in the morning. That's about it.
That ain't fresh.
Okay. How does CZW come along?
That would have been going down to Rockstar, and then when Dave and Jay were doing all this stuff, down there, and just kind of getting in with that group, and then just, I don't know if it was like word of mouth or they needed somebody to fill in, but then like that's kind of how I got in there with Dustin, and we started tagging. Then we had the tag match, and then I think it was Airborne didn't want to work with Blackout, so we just got thrown in there. And that's how we just got the belts for no reason. It was like a way to like remove belts, put it on us, and we never really had them.
Sure.
And then they just got folded along, but
Still a cool opportunity for you guys.
still
though.
my name's still in the history.
Now, is CZW how you end up getting to Japan?
No, that was through GCW.
Okay, so talk to me about how that all goes down, because I know Japan was definitely a dream for you.
That all, like I said, like earlier, when that goes back to Robles, without him doing that whole Milwaukee thing, I would have never done the whole GCW thing. But that was really like my first words with friends, real fucking important right now, huh? Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron's just playing words
A
with friends.
piece of shit.
Boy. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Keep going. I'm playing my grandma.
This man is in the studio. He waited an hour for you to drop off your kids. We sat here and talked about life
Well,
and
I have
not
real life
recording.
responsibility.
What, for a 4-letter word?
I'll give you a 4-letter word. Try to play against my grandma. She's having a back surgery tomorrow.
Okay,
Well, that's
Make sure
tomorrow.
there's
She ain't
a
got shit
word
to
for
do
her.
tomorrow.
that's right. Anyways, Japan.
Basically, that was like my first like dive into death matches, and after that, that's kind of where it went crazy. And then next thing I know, I'm wrestling like Cyclope and Miedo, and like wrestling all these guys and like doing this insane shit. And then it was at one of the shows in Asbury, and like it was like I didn't know anything like this was gonna happen. They pulled a bunch of us aside, and they told us the news, and I was like, holy fuck. Like, it was one of those things, like, it was, like, so cool. It was like, oh, fuck, it's finally, not, like, paid off, but, like, fuck, it's finally, like, it's happening.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's kind of, like, told a few people, tried to keep it as close to me as possible, because it was, like, they weren't announcing it for, like, another 6 months, I think. And then, so I just kind of had to, like, hide it. And then once it was finally announced, it was, like a little bit of relief to be like, there it is, like, let's fucking do it. And then being able to do it was awesome.
What were the highlights of being in Japan for you? What stands out, even outside of wrestling?
Mr. Danger's steak.
Yeah, I hear that's the one to go to.
It's the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah, because everybody else wants to talk about why is a jacket.
Ribera.
Yeah,
Because
everyone
they
wants
just
to talk
want
about
the
that.
jacket. I wanted a jacket too. We got fucked, but that's whatever.
Why didn't you get a jacket?
Because they just won't give it. They won't give us one.
Really?
But apparently, from what I've heard, like you have to like let them know in advance.
Oh,
And
okay.
nobody did that. And it's just like you have a group of fucking 10 guys. Like
Yeah, that sucks.
whatever. I'll get one.
Jackets ain't cool anymore.
I want
anyways.
fucking sweatpants or that one zip up Ricky has. That
Oh
one's
yeah,
way
that
better.
is really cool. But
For
Mr.
what?
Danger,
For
that's
what?
the one to go to. What? Ribera.
What you got a zip up? For Ribera?
Yeah.
Oh.
But the steak's not that good.
Yeah. That's
No,
what
I heard the
was
food is shit.
It is.
And everybody just goes there so they can get that jacket,
100%.
come back and try to floss.
And it's just like the experience of like fucking Bruiser Brody was in there. You know what I mean? Like all
Yeah.
these legends have sat there and eaten and drinking.
Yeah.
So where did you go?
Mr. Danger.
Okay.
Matsunaga's place.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he does to this meat, but it's enough to where Addy will eat it and probably love it.
You think so?
100%.
Atticus is a
Yep.
notoriously picky eater.
Chicken fingers and French fries. All the way.
Literally, we've watched Ricky dozens of times offer this man $100, $200, $300 to just try like a piece of a hamburger. He
And he
won't
won't.
do it. He will not do it.
You don't like hamburger, huh? You don't like ground beef, or what's the deal on him?
His thing, I don't know how deep we go into
I mean, this is your episode, but like the dude, it's
He
like
likes chicken.
texture and
Okay.
like I
Yeah,
don't know.
no. Why I'm fascinated is because my youngest son will not eat hamburgers.
Mm.
He says they're disgusting. Now he eats chicken tenders.
Yeah.
You know, chicken tenders same kind of gross as a hamburger.
Well, that's Addie's go-tos: chicken fingers and
Yeah.
chicken nuggets and anything
Yep.
fried chicken.
Like,
Yeah.
like a texture thing. Like I
Yep.
get it. Like there's foods that I'm kind of like I don't hate it, but I don't like it. But just the texture is so fucked that I don't want to eat it.
If I have tomatoes that have been cut up and maybe like diced or something like that, and they're in like maybe a taco or enchilada or something like that, I'm all good with tomatoes. If I have to eat a slice of tomato
You can't.
on a cheeseburger, it ills me out. Yeah, texture issue.
Interesting.
Go ahead,
interesting
guys.
stuff. What else about Japan?
Let's see. There's vending machines on every corner, but not a single bit of trash anywhere. It's one of the cleanest places.
Is that one of the
ever-
places you get caned if you litter?
You might.
Yeah,
Wait, really?
yeah.
Like it's the cleanest place on the fucking planet. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
Hito used to talk to me about this. Bad boy Hito.
Hmm.
He would tell me like you would just if you got caught littering, the police would just I believe they tied you on public display. They tied your arms up to something and tied your legs, and then they just would cane you. That's where that all came
Right,
from.
wow, this shit's clean all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing you mentioned, Eric, going to GCW and Japan, like these are your first forays into deathmatch wrestling. You talked about earlier as a kid figuring out who you are. And I feel like for a long time you were trying to figure out who you were as a wrestler. And I feel like, it's different lengths of times for everybody. I feel like we're all trying to figure out who we are. When do you think you really tried to figure out and started to figure out who you were? Because for me, watching you for a long time, like I feel like you might have tried to do like a super indie style that maybe it just didn't work for you. Not that you were like bad at it, but like it just didn't work for you. And like there's certain styles that I've tried to do that just doesn't work for me. I think the characters and the people you interact with help create who you are. So like, when did you find who Eric Ryan was?
I think when I stopped wearing gear and I just started doing whatever I wanted and it just felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, I just stopped doing the super indie stuff and it was a lot more like aggression, just that and just like figuring stuff out, figuring out who I am. And it's not about the moves, it's where I'm putting them and
Yeah.
you know how it goes.
The psychology, the aggression that we talked about, the stomp. Where did you come up with that?
I first did it.
I believe I taught that to you, right?
You did. I think I did it on accident first. When I wrestled Miedo,
Uh-huh.
I had him in that. Because I would just do the high elevated crab just as a submission. And then I just started stomping his head. And then I just didn't do it after that for a long time. And then when I was at No Holds Barred, since it was all like knockout, DQ, and like that stuff, I was like, I need something different. And then like that's when I remembered that. And I was like, fuck, I'll just do that as a finish. And then once I did that, like that was one of those things that fucking snowballed and went crazy. And I'm like, well, this is it. Like,
It just works. It's so good, man. You're wrestling so many places these days. You got No Holds Barred. You're down at No Peace a lot. You do GCW. Obviously, you're part of 440. What do you think have been your best matches over the last couple of years that really stick out to you? If someone never saw the work of Eric Ryan, what do you think is the best example of that?
I give him a little hodgepodge of everything. Our 6-man from H2O.
Oh, that was so
For
much
sure.
fun. Yeah.
Even the recent tag match I had with Bobby at H2O was a lot of fun. And then probably just show him all of King of the Death. And
Yeah.
then just
How did that feel for you, man? Like becoming the King of the Death?
it's crazy. I actually had a buddy that I haven't seen since high school. I mean, we talked here and there, but I actually hung out with him, and we used to go to all the Ring of Honor shows when I was 15, 16, when they would come to Cleveland. We would actually buy tickets, go to these shows.
Yeah.
And it was also one of those weird things. I want to go there just to be able to be at least if I can go to these shows and I'm here wrestling for them.
Right.
But he was just we were over there talking, and it just he was asking me about it. He's so it's this deathmatch is you're the guy, and then it's one of those things I'm thinking about. It's kind of I don't want to be yeah, I'm the fucking man, but
right. Because you're humble.
Yeah.
God forbid.
And it's kind of one of those things yeah, I am. It's a very select group that has won that, and that's still in my eyes the deathmatch tournament. That's the number one.
Sure.
You win that one, that's that's it.
Yeah.
TOD is close. What are the other ones? I mean, you can have tournament survival, which
sure.
Brett, I burned a guy's dick. You should put me in the tournament. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. There's still bigger tournaments, but nothing's as big as King, because King has been around forever.
For sure. That's pretty awesome, man. You've had a lot of accomplishments. I'm sure there's a lot to come for you. One thing I want to touch on, because we're going to start wrapping stuff up.
I'd like to ask some questions, but go ahead.
No, go for it.
No,
no, this is Greg's show.
Please, no, please. Go ahead, Aaron.
What are your favorite moves that you do right now, currently?
Ooh. Definitely the stomp.
Okay. What about senton?
I love it.
Yeah.
I still hit that, too. Yeah.
I have a friend named Lindsay who loves when you do the senton.
Really?
And the cannonball.
Lindsay from Patreon?
Oh, yeah.
Is she asking these questions, or
yep.
are you? Okay.
Yeah, right here, right now, in front of all these
Shout out to Lindsay. So good thing Aaron didn't do any research, and he's just getting the questions from Lindsay. Thank you,
Dude,
Lindsay.
you know the fucking deal. Don't act brand new. I don't fucking
I've
watch
seen
wrestling
people do
anymore.
the cannonball, and it always looks like shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I started doing it, to make it look good.
To make it look
It's
good?
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you do yours? In a corner?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, but it's one of those things I'm not a fucking fat slob most people that do it, and it's just that slow roll. I like the big swan dive, and
Okay.
let's fucking go.
All right.
And then my favorite part about the stomp, and this will be a little warning for everybody, the lighter you are, the lighter those stomps are towards the end of the night. If you're a little aggressive, it's when I stop giving a fuck, and it's not my fucking brainstem that's getting
Well, you've
hurt.
earned that right. You've been around long
Yeah.
enough now. That's your deal. Yeah.
sure.
Good
Don't
for you.
fucking anger me.
Yeah.
I'll light your dick on fire, too.
Oh, God. The 4-for-0
Man,
stuff.
my dick used to burn too, but that was
reasons.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of different
Mine
ways.
was only when I peed. What?
Oh,
I
boy.
can't imagine what this guy's going
Just
through.
when you peed? That's it? You got off lucky.
Right before the pandemic.
You ever have one of those big swabs
This guy.
put up right in your penis hole
No.
to see if you have STDs?
I'm surprised they didn't do that when I got the hole in my back.
Yeah. Greg, you ever have that?
I've had several things put into my penis because I broke it, as I mentioned earlier.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's got it backwards. You're supposed to put your penis into things, not the other way around.
Yeah, I'll figure that out
Pain
someday.
Olympics over here.
One day when he's old enough.
Right before the pandemic, February 2020, you joined 440. Shocked everybody. Turned on G-Raver. We caused that riot.
You turned on a guy named G-Raver?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Watch some indie wrestling, man. Talk to me about the riot and talk to me about the experience and being back with us. Not just 440, but we sort of touched
With
on
your
road
friends.
trips. It's you started with Ricky, you teamed with him. We've had our wars over the years. Obviously, you teamed with Bobby. You watch Atticus come up in training. You've known Eddie for a long time at this point. Talk to me about what it's like just to be in this group and sort of your career coming full circle with your buddies.
Yeah, it's we've talked about it before. Like I said, everything comes full circle, that we all started pretty much closely around the same time, together. And we started doing these little things together, and then almost kind of a reverse, family tree, or family tree, or funnel, however you want to call it. We all kind of went our separate ways. You ended up doing more of the stuff AAW, Punk, and that kind of thing. Ricky ended up going through CZW, doing all that stuff. Fucking Bobby's doing whatever Bobby's doing.
Whatever Bobby does, man.
And then I was kind of just in that limbo of I'm here. a little bit here, but we're all kind of doing our separate things. And then it's that point, like, boom, you hit that big thing. Boom, like, Ricky becomes fucking CZW champ. Like, boom, I'm fucking killing it in death matches. Like, we're doing all these different things, and then here it comes. Like, we're slowly meeting back, like, in that middle to where, like, you and Ricky started getting together, like, doing the thing with Eddie. And speaking of, if anybody knows where that fucking asshole is,
Yeah, that'd be great.
we'll drop the number at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing started coming along, and then, like, I started, like, drifting back into it, and then, like, here we are again to where we started together with nothing, built a brand, and now we're all together with that brand, and it's an even fucking bigger brand that we're bringing to the table, and it's just the crazy, like, to think, like, 15-year-old me, like, if this was like a stable in Ring of Honor, I'd be like, this is fucking crazy. Like, that's what we are.
Would have been crazy if that would have actually happened, right? Something would have panned
Right?
out. I think that's for another episode down the line somewhere. But it's nice to see, like, when we do stuff like GCW and specifically H2O, that the 440 brand, I guess, moves the needle. You know, like, there's been a noticeable increase in the crowd at H2O since we've been there. You know, it's like kind of rewarding that people.
How do they know that you're going to be there, though? Because you guys are always taking over.
Well, we are announced now. If you
are
actually
they?
pay attention to the
Well, I
social
don't
media.
care to. I hate fucking wrestling
I know you hate
anymore.
wrestling.
I mean,
And then, like, with
I'm
Bobby
way
back
over
in
it.
the mix, like, it's added that another layer because we've been with him for fucking ages. You know what I mean? And just finally being able to get back on the road with him, and that's.
So were
been-
you excited to join Nixon? I mean 440.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's one of those, like, I was watching it and then, like, looking at it and, like, this is fucking cool. Like, I'm glad you guys are doing your thing and yada yada. And then it was one of those, like, right place, right time things where, like, when I was asked about it, I was like, this fucking works. Like,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
it makes perfect sense. Real quick, the riot. How did you feel in that moment? Did you appreciate it in the moment? Because I feel like us older guys did, but I don't know if Atticus and Eddie could really appreciate it.
I did because, I mean, I guess they might appreciate it now because that's one of those things, like, that might not ever happen again.
No.
And something like that has not happened in years on an independent level.
Real heat. Not like burning a man's balls, but metaphorically.
Yeah, like, that ring was littered with trash, like, and it didn't stop.
Were you scared at all when that
No.
shit was coming towards the ring? Because that's why I went right to the top rope, because I was like kind of scared, but I'm like, I can't show any fear. I don't know what these
I just
fucking
didn't
people
want
are
to get
going
hit
to
in the
throw.
head with a bottle.
Right, that was my fear.
I wouldn't have minded getting hit in the chest or in the arm or something. You know, like you went to the top rope, what you were saying, and you were kind of like, bring it on, throw
People
everything
whipping
at me.
full bottles of water. Like, it's not like it's
Yeah.
Hey,
empties.
I remember Hybrid. I got hit with them batteries. More than anybody else did.
That's hard.
Batteries?
times.
Remember that kid that hit me too? Then I punched him? Yeah.
Oh, that little kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said, if anybody hits me, I'm turning around, I'm just swinging. Somebody hit me, I turned around, I swung. I hit like an 11-year-old kid.
I forgot about that.
Knocked him right off the chair. It was a whole big ordeal.
Oh, I missed that venue, too.
Yeah. Nice venue.
Both of them were.
Yeah, I didn't like how close that he, had the guardrails in. I didn't enjoy getting hit. Eric, I got a serious question here for you, though. You still hate feet?
Dude, they're the worst.
This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like,
You got feet, keep them covered.
Eric used to hate it because I don't remember exactly the story, but I'm going to tell it the way I want to tell it. Eric lived in his mom's basement for a while.
okay.
And in the bathroom there was she had pictures of like baby's feet on the wall.
Okay.
He used to come to my house and be like, fucking hate it over at my mom's, ready to move out. I'm like, why? He's like, she put fucking pictures of baby's feet in the bathroom. And I'm like, what?
What is your problem with feet?
Their
Well, feet are gross, yeah. But
Like, people suck on them, and it's weird.
That is weird. I don't get a foot fetish. Like, it's a strange thing.
because
to me.
I've done it before. I've sucked on a toe
I would
before.
never do that.
And the recipient of the toe sucking was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't even feel anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just feel like I'm sucking a small
you're just thinking
penis.
It's supposed to be sexy, and it's not.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is not fun at all. It
When's
doesn't
the last
taste good.
time you or anybody you know has gotten and taken a washcloth and scrubbed their feet?
Yeah. I don't even use
By that
washcloths, though.
response, I'm just going to say
I
nobody.
Listen to
You
me, I use a
motherfuckers are
loofah.
sucking on these things.
I know.
You're fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Don't you have like some phobia of like fucking ketchup or something too?
Not like a phobia, but
Oh,
mustard's gross.
God
Mustard,
damn
there it is, there
yes,
it is,
we
okay.
went to. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember. We went to Blue Sky. Maybe after a
Actually
mega.
fucked my lunch or my dinner.
Yes, this
Oh,
man
no.
wouldn't even eat his food.
So what happened?
He
Hold on, let Eric tell a story.
So was that the day Traxxer got Nacho Mountain?
Dude, I don't remember.
The fuck is
Just-
Nacho Mountain?
It's a dish that was there, and when he got Nacho Mountain, I lost it, and I fucking remember laughing. It's called Nacho Mountain.
I mean,
for
it sounds
goodness
tremendous.
sakes.
This is very traumatizing for you.
Tell
Take your
us
time,
the
Eric.
mustard story.
So I had a quesadilla. I didn't finish it, so I asked for a to-go container. And you know how
There was still like half of it left too,
yeah,
so
you
it
know
was
how
a
they
good
would have,
amount.
like the 3-piece, like it was like the 3 sections.
Yeah.
I only had the 2 sections. I closed my thing. I went to the bathroom. I come back, and of course, everybody's giggling at the fucking table like schoolgirls. So I open it up and I look, and there's just mustard in the 3rd container. Like
It's not open. It's not open mustard that somebody squirted in there. It's in a sealed container.
Okay.
threw the whole thing away.
What?
He was so fucking pissed. He didn't laugh about it or nothing. He opened the fucking thing, and the look of disappointment on his face. What did you guys do? Oh, mustard. Boom. Whips it across the room into the garbage can.
So like a container or a packet of mustard can't even touch your food.
It's gross. Like it
was
ruins
sealed.
food. It ruins food.
I can see why you
Yeah, but it was
sympathize with Addie
sealed.
now.
Same with pickles. It overpowers food.
It's
if
sealed.
If I wanted my whole fucking meal to taste like pickles, I would order a goddamn pickle.
I love this.
Yeah, Eric got real weird that night, and it was like, okay, now it's not funny though
play
because
that shit
he
now.
threw his whole fucking
Beats
food
Max.
away and
Okay.
everything.
Fuck. We could talk
I
all
felt
night.
bad.
Yeah.
If you don't have to go, maybe we record a little bit more for Patreon. But I want to wrap this up. Thank you for doing this. Like, appreciate it. You taking the time to come out here, and it's always nice catching up with you.
And thank you for finally, doing something that could get you booked on the show here. Because Greg would not book
That's
you
not
until you
true.
lit a man's dick on
Right.
fire.
Like I said,
Now that
1,000 bridges.
We tried to
You'll
do
never
this
be a
a
bridge
year
builder.
ago, and it didn't pan out. But thing I ask everybody on the show before we go, Eric, been doing this for 15 years now. I'm sure you got a lot more to come.
Eric.
In wrestling and in life. Shut the fuck up. What inspires you, man? What keeps you going?
Fuck.
It's a heavy question.
It
It's a
is.
simple question, but it's a heavy question.
I don't know.
Your disgust of baby feet pictures.
Possibly.
You just keep running away from those feet.
I don't know. I feel like I just talked with somebody about this because they did a Q&A at the show, and then someone's like, why do you do this? Everybody gives that bullshit like it's for the fans. Well, fuck you and fuck them because they don't care.
True.
For one, I mean, in a sense, yes, they do.
Yeah,
but
there's some good fans out there.
in 6 months, there's going to be someone taking your
If,
spot.
if
and
you
they don't
didn't work
fucking
3
care.
shows in a row for somebody that you work for consistently, those fans don't give a fuck about you. They forget about you so fast.
And then, like, I'm thinking about, like, the question in my own head. I'm like, why do I do it? I don't. It's some weird
You're
mental.
fucking psychotic.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, like, a weird self-mutilation, like, gratification. Or, like, we've explained it, or people have said it before. It's like a high that you can't replicate, which it is. There's a weird adrenaline feeling, like being in there, covered in blood, covered in glass, like looking at a motherfucker, like let's go, let's fucking fight. But I probably could never do an MMA fight because I don't want to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird how that works, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Like when that question's asked, like I said, everybody gives that cliche for the fans. No, it's like we're all fucked up in some weird way.
It's
like,
for the me.
and I don't know why.
It's for you. You do it for
Yeah.
yourself.
Selfish, I guess.
Yeah. I think we're all like that.
And then everybody's like, "Oh, what if you get hurt?" And it's like, "Well, it is what it is. Like it's."
That's how I was when I was young. It's weird that you've come to this point and still enjoy that, though. To me, it's weird. Same thing with Greg. Like, I'm like, well, don't you think it's time to get into creative now? Don't
And,
you
like,
think it's
the
time to
fucked up
manage
part,
and
too,
take one bump every 2?
which makes it
months?
crazier. Like I told Ricky and I tell everybody, it's like the more glass, the more comfortable, the more relaxed I am.
Yeah.
Like
One
I
time,
feel zero pressure when there's a
Strange.
fuck ton of glass. Zero.
Wow.
one time I remember talking to a friend of mine, and I said, "Yeah, I got color this weekend," and she said to me, "Oh yeah, I don't know how you could do that," and I went, "It was the best I felt in years. It felt therapeutic."
Yeah.
You know, and I understand cutters. Because, man, I cut the shit out of myself. Well, poke and twist.
Yeah.
But when you know the color was there,
It's
man,
that
I just
rush.
remember, oh, yeah. I kept thinking, oh, so many people are fooled right now. They got hit. Or, you know, they thought I got hit. And I don't know, man. I loved it when I did it. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Unless I need a break at work. I'll just poke and twist and go, oh, God, one of my clients just punched me in the
It's like, if you
forehead.
think about like the aftermath, like I don't want to drive for 5 hours.
I don't wanna
uncomfortable
think
with
about the
glass in my
aftermath.
back, like bleeding all over my fucking shirts, like, and then not being able to sleep for 2 days because you can't find a comfortable spot, and then you're still picking glass out of your body. Like it's not the fun part. Like
No.
I don't know how you guys do that
being
because
in the
I
moment.
never went to that point.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in thumbtacks and I've gotten color in different ways and whatever. I've had some weird shit happen to me and I've been power bombed onto plywood and shit like that. But glass and all that, and then picking it out afterwards. And I'll tell you this: my previous cell phone I had dropped while I was walking to the bathroom at like 4 a.m. one time, and the whole screen was cracked. And I took it back to my room, and my alarm was set for me to get up to work at 6:30 or whatever. So my alarm went off. I immediately grabbed my phone out of instinct and swiped so that way. Yeah, and I got fucking glass in me, and I had to have the medical staff at my job remove the glass. It was the worst pain of my life. And I don't think it's all gone because every time I do something, a little bit out of the ordinary with one of my fingers.
I got a good piece actually right here.
You
My
still
track,
got something
I
in
can
you?
feel it,
Yeah.
I can move it around.
So ridiculous. Well, you say you don't do it for the fans, but maybe we do it for that instant feedback in that moment. That's what gives us the high. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and I think to an extent that mutilation, like that, I don't know, something fucked up happened to all of us.
Like I
which is
think
why I'm wrestling.
Duke said it the best to me one day. He goes, "You would have been perfect in the Middle Ages. Like you would have been the guy bloodletting and just sitting in the chair with the leeches on you." And it's just like, yeah, like that would have been me, just like going to the fucking leech motel for the day and just
For sure.
bleeding out a little bit and.
Now get them to suck out some glass.
Okay.
Leech just suck out a shard of glass.
I don't know why, but you just saying the Duke just reminded me of your Mr. RBI impression. The Duke.
Oh wow, the Duke.
Alpha Beta the Duke.
Who was the other Crimson? What was that guy's name? The red hair.
Tommy Mercer.
Yeah. RBI would be in the back, and he'd look over to go, "Oh, wow. It's Tommy Tom. I like calling him Tommy Tom." And Mercer was like, "Yeah, that's cool with me. I like Tommy Tom."
Okay.
I know we keep going, but speaking of RBI, that was the last time I had fun doing the cursed gimmick. Was when I wrestled RBI.
Yeah. Well, why?
God bless you for that.
Why did you have so much fun doing that one time?
Because I was allowed to do what I wanted. And
Well, you weren't allowed, but
No.
it was
Is that
hilarious.
the time you came out in a dress?
That was.
Yes, I remember that. And you told me on the way there, I'm going to do something, and Joe's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need you not to tell him what I'm going to do. And
Because-
I was like, dude, fucking Joe leans on me a lot of times, and he needs to know things. And, all right, well, I like you. Let's go.
Because like Crimson was doing the spooky stuff, Gory was doing the spooky stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do the spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Like I want to do like just something weird. So
Yeah.
That's why I wore the dress. And then like after that, he's like, "You have to tell me everything you're doing." I'm
Yep,
like,
yep.
"Nah,
I
fuck
remember.
this. I'm not having
He was
fun
so pissed
anymore."
on commentary. He kept looking at me. And
That wig didn't fall off though.
There were so many times where we had to do stuff without telling Joe just because we knew how he was going to be. But I appreciated it. I thought it was funny.
Also that day.
And how did you walk in fucking heels?
I don't know. It was one of the
That's what I
first
say.
First times.
Just
first
came
time.
natural.
Eric is a real heel.
Okay. Whatever. We could talk for a million years, but we should wrap this up. But hey, look, thanks for doing this. Hopefully,
Thanks
we'll do
for
it again
lighting
soon.
that guy's dick on fire.
Yeah. And if someone wanted to find you on social media, Eric, how could they do that?
Twitter, Instagram, Eric Ryan Pro.
I remember when you first got that name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't a pro yet.
Still not.
Working on it. Baby
Working
steps.
on it. Then that's got all the links to Big Cartel and all that other nonsense. And
Buy some merch.
Buy some shit.
All right, man. Thank you. Hopefully, I'll see you. I'll see you this weekend. So
Yeah.
that was the interview with Eric Ryan. Can't thank Eric enough for being in studio with us this week, for doing that. He's a good man, and even though I've been spending more time with him on the road, it was just nice to sit down with him a little bit, and we talked for about an hour shooting the shit before we even started recording. He's good stuff. He's a good guy. He's really come into his own. Aaron, you've been with Eric since the beginning. You've seen a lot of incarnations of Eric Ryan.
Yeah.
Give me your top 3 favorite versions of Eric Ryan right here, right now, in front of all these people.
Young Studs.
Sure.
I mean,
that's an easy
the
one.
initial.
That's a
yeah.
gimme.
Yeah, okay. There, and then let me go Cursed.
Okay. I think that's going to be one of his least favorite.
Well, that's his, but that's not mine.
Sure.
I liked it. Did you?
It had potential.
Okay. And then finally, I would say, even though I don't ever see him anymore, right now, 440 Eric.
It's good stuff.
I like it.
I like the intensity.
He's lighting penises on fire. What's not to like?
Listen, that's a ridiculous scenario.
Yeah.
Ridiculous scenario.
Oh, boy.
And, hopefully that lands him on ridiculousness. That's his dream right now. He didn't talk about that as one of his goals at the end of the podcast, but I know one of his goals is to end up on ridiculousness. Everybody in 440 loves ridiculousness except for me, because
I'm not a fan at all.
I don't like that Rod Diedrich or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
his name is. I think he's an idiot.
I don't like anybody.
And he's got a giant monster tattoo on his back. What a douchebag. You have to be a real piece of shit to have a monster tattoo on your body. I don't know. It just seems really trashy. Anyways, I'd rather watch Bob Saget and America's Funniest Home Videos any day of the week. Enough about that. That's the end of the show. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Check out patreon.com/Iron on Wrestling. Make sure you follow us on social media as well, at Iron on Wrestling on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, especially if you want to see some of the content that we're dropping featuring Eric this week. Old photos, newer photos, rare photos, maybe some videos, a guy getting his dick set on fire, and whatever photos and videos come with that. And make sure you follow me on social media, at Gregory Iron on Twitter, at Gregory_Iron on Instagram. I'm on Facebook too. If you'd like to book me for pro wrestling seminars, pro wrestling shows, motivational speaking engagements, you can DM me on any of those platforms, but you can also email me directly at Gregory_Iron@yahoo.com. Check out my Pro Wrestling Tee store, ProWrestlingTees.com/GregoryIron, where you can not only buy my shirts, you can buy an Aaron shirt, and you can buy the Rod Destiny shirt designed by Juan Ortiz. It's a big seller right now. Get it while it's there, because it's not going to be there long. I'm probably going to be taking them down by, let's say, July 4th, because it's a super rare shirt. You got to get it while it's hot. And hey, bro, don't miss out on this one. Rod Destiny t-shirt right now, ProWrestlingTees.com/GregoryIron. And also, if you want a Cameo shout out, hit me up on Cameo. I've been getting a lot of those lately. I appreciate the support. It helps me. I want to help you by telling you happy birthday, celebration of whatever the hell you got going on in your life. Aaron, what do you want to plug?
Jeff Traxler on Facebook.
Okay. That has nothing to do with you, but okay.
Yeah, I don't care about me.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, look up Traxler.
All right.
He's doing good things right now.
Find him under Promoter. And that is it for this episode. Hey, guys, thanks for coming back each and every week. We appreciate the support. Seriously, without you, I don't know if we would be doing this for over 100 episodes. Legitimately.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about this with Vince. I haven't seen a lot of these former cohorts of mine.
Yeah.
You know, Vince, Eric Ryan, Hobo Joe, Revis, Rod Destiny.
Right.
Come on, man. This is the dream. So
It's
thank you.
Sometimes we don't get the. I don't know. A lot of podcasts do the big WWE superstars, the big AEW superstars. But you know what? I want to do guys that. That sounds weird. I want to have guys on the show that that not only mean something to me, but I think are incredibly talented, and maybe more eyes should be on them. You know what I mean? And it's just nice to reconnect with these friends that I've crossed paths with over the last 15 years. You as well. You know, last 20 years you've been in this. And
we need to get Fontaine on the show.
Dude, I've been thinking about that.
I shouldn't be saying these things out loud, but oh man.
Well, we'll make
just
it happen.
thinking.
We keep churning out this content. Again, if you love what we do here, check out Patreon. It's the best way to support. And until next week, hey, we bid you farewell. And here is a sensual kiss goodbye.
I changed my mind. Love's just fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me, baby.